Today, we give 5 good values. Yes, there are 5 good values left in hobby boxes to chase Macklin Celebrini rookies. The hobby literally exploded in March. We answer your mailbag questions and a whole lot more. Welcome back to episode 383 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, presented by our good friends at Upper Deck.
It's a Gongshow Super Show.
Well, hello, hobby family. Welcome back to the Gong Show. I hope you had a happy Easter if you celebrate it. We also are happy to welcome back Maple Leafs superfan Troy LeCastro. Hey, Troy.
Fellas, how you doing? I feel like every time I'm on here, I have a different backdrop, so I almost feel like that's kind of my bit at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm just going through trying to find proper lighting, proper area for whatever. And I'm changing microphones too, but happy to be back as always. Got the bat signal call and had to answer.
Yeah. Pumped to have you back. Did you hear anything from Leafs fans after your last appearance?
When you guys collabed on the reel with me, unbelievable! I was fighting for my life. What a dog! I was just getting absolutely torched, and I'm
it's a puppy dog fight. I mean,
wow. Well, or as Connor McDavid would say, it's a pillow fight. But God forbid a guy likes to collect vintage clothing of other teams and wear it. So
Ooh.
I think
that's your defense?
It's all in good fun though. It's funny.
God forbid I like to collect vintage clothing.
That sounded real pompous for sure, but
it's great. No, it's good. Keep going.
We're all blessed if we can get hot and bothered and bent out of shape on sports takes. That means we all have a very, very good life and not a lot to worry about. Speaking of that, Phil did he's very good at making these reels. He did the reel with you where you got some flack, and then he used his editing magic to stir the pot again with Jeremy Lee and Connor McDavid after our last show. Again, I find it so funny, how people just get very bent out of shape. I don't know how else to put it. I love the passion.
It's religion. It's that's what I used to be sports. Now it's real life. But yeah, it's people's. You can swim in those dirty little waters and it doesn't matter. But some folks sometimes seem like it matters. Don't come after me after my Sens lose. It's probably not going to go well.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
you want to talk about yesterday?
Like the 4-1 loss 2 days ago.
Yeah. No, I know. We didn't come out to play. That's okay. You think I'm not used to losing? Come on.
You beat the Sabres 4-1. So
yeah. I'm not. Well, listen, I got my own problems in Ottawa. When I'm watching you guys freak out over McDavid stuff, I'm here. I got my own issues with my captain. It's all fair in love and war here.
You never answered my text, Troy. How does it feel? Are you okay with the Sabres having 100 points? There's 3 numbers in that column.
Well, funny enough, when you texted me, I was on my way out to go to the Buffalo Bandits game, our only winning team in Buffalo here, our NLL National Lacrosse League dynasty. So
Nice.
That's how I celebrated, was with a Bandits win last night, and we had a great time. But it feels good. It's very emotional. Sabres put out a video that was voiced over by Jean Rett. He recorded it in 2021 or something. Cried my eyes out like a baby. It's a very emotional time here right now. And, we're the city of losers. So for us, it's this is a big victory. It's a big step in the right direction for us. So we're just kind of soaking it all in without having to have too much of a chip on our shoulder.
You're the prom queen at prom, but you haven't won anything yet. You gotta.
Ooh.
That's what
real season. I'm just keeping you in check. I'm just keeping you in check.
You can't.
Right.
You're not listening. I was agreeing with you, Phil.
No. I was listening. I'm agreeing. I'm just you're at the dance now.
Exactly.
Now let's dance.
Yeah. Well, right now the real test starts, and for sure. And listen, I'm just happy, and I'm just gonna try to crawl and scratch and claw my way into that building for the first home game if I can. But I think it's going to be just an atmosphere that we've missed for so long. So I think I'm just happy to have that back, that I know downtown is just going to be absolutely buzzing when they're playing. So I'm just looking forward to it.
There you go. All right. we got a really big show today. A couple quick announcements though before we get started. So Phil, why don't you recap anyone that missed your show on Friday? What went down on Friday nights with Phil?
We had a very hostile guest under the name of Ryan Moss. No, he wasn't hostile. He was great. Ryan was awesome. He's on Instagram under Wall Street something. I don't know. He's got hockey cards. He has a great collection, strong opinions. I value bluntness greatly. He's a straight shooter. So if you want some fun conversation, check out Last Friday Nights with Phil. Dave wasn't talking. So when Ryan had to go fix something because he was on dad duty, I had to yell at Dave a little bit. So I'm sorry, Dave.
Dave was scared? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. He just wasn't talking. But, I talk a lot, so maybe he didn't get an in. So that could be a possibility. I had a great talk. Victoria called in from Mexico.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She's not married, but she's like half married. She had her wedding party. Am I saying that right? No, her bridal party.
Bridal shower.
Bridal shower. Thank you.
Bachelorette? Was it the Bachelorette? Church?
Listen, they made the I feel so. Okay, hold on. Slow down, Phil. Okay. She's having her bachelorette with the bachelor party. And I
think Stag and Doe.
Yeah, okay, Stag and Doe. So I thought Stag and Does were like on the surface, and then I thought like the boys and the girls have like the real bachelorette party away from the bachelor party. I thought that was what happens, but I don't know. I guess I'm that old now. Victoria kind of looked at me like I had 3 heads growing out, and she was like, "Why? What's wrong with that?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I thought it was different. The movies say it happens differently." So, I've been to different bachelor parties where I don't think they'd want the bachelorettes to be there. So that's what I'm used to. I guess things are just different now.
It is very common. One of my buddies did the same thing where they took a trip to the same place. Girls and guys separated, but then for some things they would come together. So I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It's totally different.
I'm not saying there's bad activity or it's like, oh, it's the last day before you're married, you have to cheat. Like, no, I'm not talking about that. But your boys go to have fun, don't they? Like, isn't that the party? Like you're the one getting married. Don't ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
So that's it. That's that happened. But we had a great show. Yeah, come check it out.
All right. Mm-hmm. Really quickly before we get started, a reminder that this show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, we are a Patreon podcast. What that means is we do rely on the support of the good listener, the good watcher, to help us cover our show expenses, produce what we hope to be more and better hockey card content, and then fund initiatives in a small way to grow the hobby. You can support us for as little as $5 a month. Be one of the first 999 supporters of our show. You get the Future Watch Gonger title. You get access to our Discord. You can see our Discord exclusive show Behind the Bench with our boy Neil, Expo Mom, who's not going to be there at the Expo. Very sad about that. Yeah. Something about like his family and loving them. I don't know. It was weird.
We're his family. Doesn't love us.
Yeah.
If you want to support us, just go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com. Click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to Patreon directly, patreon.com. Search for us at Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description in both YouTube and podcast apps and our Instagram, TikTok profiles too. Baba Louie, we have 2 new patrons. 2 shout out today.
Sure do.
Go for it, bud.
Number 1, Gambler Fan 22.
Welcome. Nice.
And next we have, is it Penguin Bren?
Penguin Bren.
Sure. Penguin Bren. Let's see, I should do it like that. Thanks, Phil, because even if I'm wrong, it still sounds good.
Are penguins smarter than chickens? I think they're the same, right? Penguins are like chickens.
What?
I don't know.
Like intelligence. I don't think chickens
no
aren't smart.
Well, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Or the penguin?
I prefer the cat box thing than the chicken.
All right, Louie, what's the game plan?
Hold on. With the cat's box, what?
Schrodinger's cat?
Who's?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Google it.
Google it. All right. Game plan time. Starting off with get to know your Hall of Famers. After that, it's the Weekly 7. Then we will get into some hobby news. Then the 5 best 24-25 hobby box buys right now to get your Celebrinis. Affordable. I'm out no matter what. Yeah, affordable-ish. Then, Gongshow Mailbag and personal pickups.
Okay, thank you, Louie. It's time to get rolling with the Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series. It's where we generally know nothing about the history of the game and the players that built it, but we are still capable, even at our advanced age, except for Troy. He's a young buck, of learning. So we're on a mission to profile every Hockey Hall of Fame player that's ever been enshrined. We started with the first Hall of Fame class of 1945 and have since been working our way to the present day. Today's Hall of Famer we're going to learn some more about is Hap Holmes. Hap Holmes. Anyone?
No.
Nope.
No. Yeah, me neither. Harry George Hap Holmes was born in 1888. Passed away at the age of 53 in 1941.
Whoa.
When World War II started, Phil.
Well, look at, yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go, Josh. Look at that picture. Baseball hat in the hockey rink.
Yeah.
Is
that's
that
pretty
is that
awesome.
hard? You think that helmet or that hat is hard?
No, I don't think so.
Rubber? Maybe it's rubber.
A rubber hat?
Well, like some cushion.
Oh, maybe.
You know?
Yeah, probably not. Hat was born in Aurora, Ontario, passed away in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He was a goaltender, caught left-handed, played at 5'10", 170 pounds, and in a career that lasted from 1912 until 1928, played for a number of teams. The Toronto Blue Shirts, Seattle Metropolitans, Toronto Arenas, Victoria Cougars, and Detroit Cougars. Holmes won 4 Stanley Cups with 4 different teams, one of only 2 players to ever achieve that feat. He won with the Blue Shirts in 1914, the Metropolitans in 1916, won the Cup again with the Toronto Arenas in 1916, and then won his final Cup with the Victoria Cougars in 1925. Remember, during the Challenge Series era of the Cup, you could win it or defend it multiple times in a year.
Who do you think?
It's like a duel.
It's so
think someone
cool.
got fired for the Toronto Arenas. We're gonna call the Toronto Stadiums.
Yeah. It's like, what do we name the team looking at the sign outside, standing outside the arena?
Toronto amphitheaters.
The amphitheaters. I'm an amphi.
Between the 3 leagues Hap played in, the NHA, PCHA, and NHL, he played 350 games, posted an aggregate record of 167, 169, and 2. And after his playing career, he spent a few years coaching in minor league hockey. Why should you care about Hap Holmes? Well, again, he was born in 1888 in Aurora, Ontario, and before he ever became a Hall of Famer, he broke into senior hockey with the Parkdale Canoe Club.
Or a kayak man myself, but
in Toronto, learning the position in an era when goaltending technique was still primitive and survival in the crease was almost part of the job description. I would love to see like 2 NHL goaltenders and all their gear in a canoe. That would be pretty funny. Holmes turned pro with the Toronto Blue Shirts in the 1912-13 season and immediately stepped into top-level hockey, posting a winning record in his first season and beginning a career that would stretch across the NHA, PCHA, WCHL, WHL, and NHL. In 1913-14, Holmes backstopped the Blue Shirts to the Stanley Cup, helping deliver the first Stanley Cup championship to a Toronto-based team and establishing himself as one of the best big-game goaltenders of the era almost as soon as he arrived. So the first goalie to win a Stanley Cup in Toronto. After that Cup win, hockey politics and league instability helped push Holmes west, and he became one of several key Toronto players who left for the Seattle Metropolitans, a move that changed both his career and the history of hockey in the United States. In Seattle, Holmes became the backbone of a Metropolitans club that was helping introduce major professional hockey to a brand new market, and by 1916-17 was in top form as Seattle won the Stanley Cup, becoming the first U.S.-based team to ever capture it. So he's the goalie for the first Toronto team to win the Cup and the goalie for the first USA team to win a Stanley Cup.
that's got to be one of the big reasons to put him in the Hall of Fame.
I would think so.
Yeah.
For sure.
That 1917 championship made Holmes a 2-time Cup winner with 2 different franchises and also reinforced his reputation as a calm, technically sound stand-up goalie whose positioning and poise mattered as much as pure athleticism. In one of the strangest twists in early pro hockey, Holmes then wound up with Toronto again for the NHL's inaugural 1917-18 season and helped the Arenas win the Stanley Cup, giving him championships in both the Blue Shirts and the Arenas, even though they were two different title teams in Toronto. So he was the first goalie to win a Stanley Cup in Toronto, the first goalie to win a Stanley Cup in the U.S., and the first goalie to win the Stanley Cup in the NHL.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That 1918 title also made Holmes the only player to be part of Toronto's 1914 Blue Shirts Cup winner and Toronto's 1918 Arenas Cup winner, giving him the unique place in the city's hockey history. Holmes returned to Seattle for the 1918-19 season and nearly added another championship in the most tragic Stanley Cup final in history, as the series with Montreal was abandoned with Seattle and the Canadiens tied after influenza ravaged both teams, and Canadiens defenseman Joe Hall later died in Seattle hospital. That was the Spanish flu pandemic of 1919. In that unfinished 1919 final, Holmes posted 2 shutouts and put together 132 minutes, 26 seconds scoreless streak, a Stanley Cup final record that still stands as one of the great forgotten goaltending feats of the early game. Holmes stayed a central figure in Seattle through the early 1920s and took the Metropolitans back to the Stanley Cup final in 1920, another reminder that his 1917 triumph was no fluke, and he remained one of the defining goalies of Western pro hockey. When the Seattle franchise folded after the 1923-24 season, Holmes moved to the Victoria Cougars. And even late in his career, he remained elite enough to help drive another championship run. In 1925, Holmes won the Stanley Cup with Victoria, becoming a 4-time champion with 4 different teams in 4 different leagues.
That's ridiculous. That's so silly.
The 1914 Blue Shirts in the NHA, 1917 Metropolitans in the PCHA, 1918 Toronto Arenas in the NHL, and the 1925 Victoria Cougars of the WCHL. That remains one of the rarest accomplishments in hockey history. The 1925 Victoria Championship also carried historic weight because the Cougars became the last non-NHL team to ever win the Stanley Cup. What does this guy have a 4-leaf clover? He's like at every one of these huge moments. He's always the goalie, it seems like. So Holmes was not just part of hockey history once. He was right in the middle of several turning points in the sport's evolution. Holmes finished his major pro career with the Detroit Cougars, bringing his old style into the growing NHL. And by the time he retired in 1928, he had built a resume strong enough for later generations to recognize him as one of the foundational goaltenders of professional hockey. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1972, and the AHL later named its top goalie award the Hap Holmes Memorial Award in his honor. So there you go.
I tell you what, out of the episodes I've been on, I think that's the most interesting guy that I've heard about. That was very, very interesting. Shout out Hap Holmes.
Yeah.
Great name. Great
Pivotal.
Name.
Awesome.
Fantastic name. I feel like I need a Hap Holmes jersey now.
And if your name's Hap, you got to wear a cap like that, don't you? I mean, wouldn't it be weird if...
Yeah, you have to.
On to the Hap Holmes hobby market. The only Playing Days kind of card-ish, I think, I have no idea what these are, that I could find is from the 1926-27 Anonymous issue set. It's card number 121. So that being said, there's no public sales on Card Ladder of this card. Pretty rare, I guess. Beyond that, there's a 1985 Cardophilium set, card number 156. PSA 10, highest selling copy, having sold for $80 this past January. And that, boys, is your Hockey Hall of Famer, Hap Holmes.
Nice.
Good job, Madigan.
That was cool.
It is so much fun to, even for me, when I do the research, it starts with a name, and it's like, oh, I wonder if this guy's going to be interesting. And then half hour later, when you're done, it's like, oh, wow. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Well, half of them got not the Spanish flu, but polio.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty wicked times back then.
I thought it was pretty cool too that the 1985 card featured him in the background with the cap on, kind of like you were saying. So,
Yeah.
so that was a good look.
They gave him the multiple team look on that too, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
We're back with another round of the Weekly 7, where we discuss 7 topics from the world of hockey from the past week and see to what degree these topics could potentially impact the hobby.
Let's skate on over to the NHL.
Well, we talked a little bit about it at the jump, the playoff race, and the picture is unfolding with only a handful of games left. It's heating up. So here's the standings at the time of our recording. In the Eastern Conference,
Oh, please don't
in
bother.
the Hurricanes, which I'm sure only Chandler's happy about because he seems to dream of Stanley Cup matchups with teams that nobody wants to see. And what was the last year he wanted he was rooting for Hurricanes, Golden Knights or something like that?
Yeah, and it's not that. It's not the joke. It's he tries to justify it. He's like, "Hear me out." We're like, "No, there's nothing. There's nothing you can say to convince me."
Yeah. And then, of course, in is Buffalo. The Buffalo Sabres are in the playoffs. They've clinched a playoff spot. You talked a little bit already, but what's the vibe in the city right now? Are people kind of losing their minds over this?
Well, it's funny, right? The saddest part is we couldn't win to clinch it. We had to wait till Detroit lost to clinch it. So very typical Buffalo fashion. But going back to what I was saying last night, I was at the lacrosse game, and there was a point in the lacrosse game where the announcer stopped and he said, "Your Buffalo Sabres have clinched the playoff spot." Place went crazy. So I mean, every person who hasn't cared about hockey for the last 10, 15 years here cares about it. They're sharing, a bunch of people that I follow from my hometown here sharing it on their Instagram. So things are just exploding.
It's
right
amazing.
now.
It's amazing, Troy, how winning can unite people. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
100%.
Winning solves everything. Winning's not a bad thing. Winning is a good thing.
Yeah.
Winning is a good thing. Yeah.
It's a tale as old as time. I mean, we went through this with the Buffalo Bills too. You know this, Phil. We had a drought for whatever it was, 18 seasons. And, I remember how it felt when we got into the playoffs that time when we finally broke that drought. And it's very similar this time around too. So, like I said, whatever happens, happens. The playoffs are pretty much a clean slate, a new season, but it's just good to have this back. I don't think anybody saw us getting to this point this year, having 100 points for the first time. And
2 weeks before the trade deadline, the Wild were supposed to get half your team. That was
Right.
is Alex Tuch going to get traded? Right. And now, I mean, a couple months later, you could have never imagined that you'd be in this spot.
If you would, right.
Culture and chemistry, right? It's just culture
100%.
and chemistry.
Right. You don't need to necessarily have the team that's got all the superstars, and because you know what, that seems to end up being, sometimes it works out, but other times it can be detrimental. So you just got a good core group of guys. You got a guy like Tage leading the way. And like I said, he won that gold medal and they came back and they just were firing on all cylinders after the Olympics. And here we are.
Do you think that experience can change a player like Tage? Do you think that he's different coming back from that?
Sure. Because, I mean, if you think about it this way, right, he didn't get to experience the St. Louis Blues Cup because he was already in Buffalo after the O'Reilly trade. So this was his first taste of winning. His first taste of winning. So absolutely, I'm sure that ignited something in him where he's like, this feels amazing. I want to feel this more often. I want to feel this all the time. So I definitely think it 100% helped just take his game to the next level, if there was a next level. He's really stepped up even more than he already had.
Was it Thompson or Tuck who said in a post interview that was the TSN turning point for me? I mean, Buffalo's got to be the NHL Cinderella team. I mean, if you can't root for Buffalo, what's wrong with you? They said, "Are you happy you guys doing well? Do you hope to make the playoffs?" And it was very introductory to success.
Sure.
And he was like, "What? No, we're trying to win the Stanley Cup. That's why we're doing this. We're not just trying to make the playoffs. We're trying to win the Stanley Cup." Oh, baby. That's what I want my athletes that I admire to talk and have. And that's a good attitude. That's a positive attitude. That's a winner and a champion's attitude. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember if it was Tuck or Thompson, but
I think that was Tucky. And then to your point too, Phil, I think something that really showed their character and the camaraderie, and that they are just playing loose, fun hockey and just, having a good time, is when Dahlin said in that post-game interview too, where he's like, "Yeah, we just drink beers now. We drink beers as a team." Or he just said something cheeky like that. And I think people have latched onto that too and just ran with it. So,
well, it's the first time the Sabres are in the playoffs since the 2010-11 season. So ending one of the longest droughts in professional sports, I think. Also in the Eastern Conference, Montreal, Pittsburgh, and Boston look like they're locks to make a playoffs. And then Phil, well, first of all, on the Pittsburgh thing, very happy Sid will be in the playoffs again this year, most likely. So looking forward to that. And then Phil, your Ottawa team hanging on for dear life for that last wild card spot. You need our Wild to take care of Detroit today. So I assume you're a Wild fan.
Yeah,
today.
there's 7 games yesterday, and a lot matters. It's just horrible. There's as of right now, there's 4 teams at 88 points and 1 at 89. It's horrible. Ottawa's in the best shape, though. We have the most tiebreakers. We have the most regulation wins. We have the most goal differential. I don't even know if that counts. We're okay, but our fate is in our hands. If every time we lose, everybody else loses. Every time we win, everybody else wins. So it's there for the taking. If my team wants it, I'd like them to go get it. And if they don't, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
It seems like there's really 2 playoff spots left up for taking, and it's the Islanders, Senators, Flyers, Blue Jackets, Red Wings, Capitals are all sort of vying for those spots.
Just like 3-2-1. This 2-1-0 is not worth 3-2-1. 3 points for regulation win, 2 points for overtime if you win, 1 if you lose. That solves everything. This loser points is the problem. My team might not make the playoffs with almost 20 more goals than everybody else. Come on, it's insane.
Oh, but this is where you get the fun mathematical equations. You start queuing the what's his name, Zach Galifianakis, when he's in the Hangover, and you just start seeing the equations flying.
Or Julia, I like the Julia Roberts conspiracy theory. Yeah.
That's the NHL season at this point.
Can I ask why we give points if you lose? Why even if you go to overtime do you get 1? That's like we'll give you something for kind of doing good.
I don't know what the theory
0?
was. Like there had to have been a problem at the time that they were trying to fix, and maybe it was a bad solution.
Western philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's dumb. 0 if you lose. You're a loser. You get 0.
Participation
you get
trophy.
Nothing and like it.
That's the NHL's participation trophy.
You guys wonder when you do little things, you're like, what's the big deal? What's the harm in that? Well, here we are.
Okay, let's go on to the Pillow Fight Conference. We have the Avalanche are in, the Stars are in, the Wild are in. Wow. Can, though, the Wild actually ever make it to the second round?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yes.
Yeah!
We'll see. I would actually, dream scenario for me, is always to beat Dallas in the playoffs, because they stole our team and they stole our hearts, and I want to steal their Stanley Cup.
I need back in. Question for you, though. We're in, but I'm not calling this done. We need to battle, and Dallas needs to keep losing. And I think we play them. We need to do the flip, though. I want home ice.
Second seed.
Yeah, we need to flip that, and maybe our chances are better of seeing the second round.
Yeah. Pretty much locks beyond Avalanche, Dallas, and Wild are Edmonton. They've actually turned it around pretty good. Anaheim, Golden Knights, and Utah. Be fun to see them in the playoffs. And then there's really one final spot that seems up for the grabs between, I think Nashville's currently in the driver's seat, but then LA, San Jose, Winnipeg, maybe St. Louis. I'm obviously from the hobby side pulling for the Sharks. I would love to see a playoff matchup between Edmonton and San Jose. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be something.
That
would be something.
must watch. That would be must watch.
So what's everyone's confidence level on your teams right now? Are you happy to be in, Troy? Are you expecting damage in the playoffs, or what are we thinking?
Happy to be in, I would say, is the short answer. If I expand on that a little bit, I looked at the bracket yesterday, and currently right now NHL.com has it like, if the playoffs started today and they did the seeding, we'd have to play Montreal, and that would scare the piss out of me. I'll be honest with you. Montreal is just on the back of Cole Caulfield. They run so deep, and their goaltending finally started showing up that I don't know, man. They feel like a freight train. It's like, move out of the way. So I don't know. That would scare me if we had to play Montreal for sure. But once again, it would be a fun series. Would I love to see Demidov, Lane Hudson, and Cole Caulfield come to town and play the Sabres? Absolutely. Hell yeah.
You're going to go to a game, right?
I have to.
You have to.
Like I said, I will by any means necessary at this point. Like if I have to start a GoFundMe, if the Hockey Cards Gongshow family wants to help me with my GoFundMe, for sure. I got to get to at least one.
Yeah, I think you have to too. Phil, what are you feeling about your team now? You said you're like 70% confident last time we checked in. Has that changed at all?
I'm the same 70, 80. My heart is 100. I want my boys to make it, and if they play well, they will. There's just so much fluff and silliness around. I winning cures everything. Just go play some good hockey, boys, and good things will happen.
I'm a wild fatalist, so I assume that we'll lose 4-2 in the first round. Well, this goes back to like when Troy and me started this podcast. Like our mantra was get back to me in the second round with the Minnesota Wild. Right now, I know maybe if you're a Buffalo fan, you're like, well, at least you make the playoffs. But I want to see them, and I think we have a team that can do it this year. So I'm a little more positive than maybe in the past. Okay, I want to move on to some milestone updates. We're approaching the end of the regular season, and at this time of the year, you get both season and career milestones that start to pile up, and that could have relevance to the hobby. So here's some from the past week or others that we haven't mentioned yet, and I want you guys to tell me if there will be any discernible hobby impact from any of these milestones reached. So let's talk about Nathan MacKinnon first. He reached 50 goals. It's the second time now in his career that he's got to 50. He'll need to get 2 more to set a career high for goals. He also has 121 points and counting. And like with Kucherov, it's the 4th straight season in a row for MacKinnon with 110 points or more. He's also a career best plus 55 and plus minus, which I know is a little more of a team stat, but it shows you how much of a wagon they are. He's plus 55 this year. It's crazy. He's plus 227 for his career, and it got me thinking the other day when I was looking this up. Who has the highest career plus minus of all time? Do you guys know?
Oof.
Highest career plus minus.
Wouldn't that be Gretzky?
No.
Cheap pick.
It's a blue liner. I'll give you a hint.
I was gonna say Ray Bourque, maybe.
That's a great guess. I'm gonna go Rod Langway. I don't know.
Oh, I guess Louis just chimed in. MacKinnon's got 51 goals now, too, so he needs 1 more for the career high. But highest plus minus of all time, Larry Robinson finished his career plus 722.
God.
Wow. Oh, my boy. Big Bird. Big Bird.
That's
140 ahead of Bobby Orr, who is second all time. Wow. So at this point, does this year have any impact? Let's say he wins the Hart. I know he's in the consideration for the Hart Trophy. He wins the Stanley Cup. Is there any discernible growth in the MacKinnon hobby market, or is it just more what's to be expected at this point? Basically,
wouldn't it if it would have already happened if it did? Yeah. I just don't think the only get traded to Toronto, be the captain, end your career there, win them a cup. Yes, you'll get a big bump.
Okay.
What else is there? I don't know.
No, I agree with that, Phil. I almost feel like he's the type where it's, buy all his stuff now. Like if you want MacKinnon, buy it all now. And then maybe it's one of those things where it'll start to hit people after he's retired and after he's gone, like how good he was. And then kind of like maybe the Hall of Fame bid. But I don't think he gets any astronomical spike.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like the Friedman hockey stick kind of growth, but if you look at his market over the past 2 years, it's definitely way up. Like a couple of 2-3 years ago, his cards were for nothing, and that's when everyone started talking about on a Kucherov level, right, where nobody seems to care about this guy. So maybe it'll continue to rise a little bit. The next milestone player I want to get to is Connor McDavid. I won't say it, but I want to, but I won't. He has 43 goals, fifth time in his career. For that,
do it.
No,
do it.
Can't. I can't stop, won't stop, but not today. I'm a little sicky poo. He's got 126 points and counting, which is amazing. Check this out. The 6th season in a row with more than 100 points for McDavid. 9 of the past 10 years he's reached 100 points. The only season he didn't was in 2019, where he had 97 points in 64 games. So hard to throw stones at that one, too. Just more of what we expect from McDavid. Is that the consensus?
Yeah. I mean, he's another one. Is he almost hitting a ceiling with his hobby value until he wins a cup?
You can't go wrong, though. That's the thing with
No,
McDavid, right?
you
You can't go wrong with any of his cards. They're just so liquid, right? But how do his cards get more juice to the batteries? I don't think they can. It's all about the new boys, right?
I'll tell you. Well, I agree with you, Phil. But I'll tell you what, though. I don't know if you guys discussed this on your last episode, and I know you're thinking, hey, thanks for listening. But that McDavid shield in Ultimate, where they had him inscribe everything, I think that's going to be a big card. And maybe we see somebody put, some sort of bounty on that one, or like, somebody will put out there like, hey, I'm willing to pay this much for that. I think that's going to be McDavid's next, like, real big car, real big sale, is that shield with all the inscriptions in Ultimate.
I love how they're spicing up shields a little bit, especially when you get a guy like McDavid, who's 11 years into the league now, where it's just shield after shield after shield to make it a little bit something exciting. And then I also want to give Upper Deck a lot of credit for promoting it in advance, because they haven't
100%.
always done that before. They'll wait till the set was been out for 3 weeks, and then somebody hits it, and we all find out that there was this amazing card in the set.
I mean, the gold outburst still is of Celebrini. Nobody, I mean, how many boxes haven't been opened? Not that many. There's got to be under 1,000 boxes only out there, right?
I don't know.
It's there. It's somewhere.
I can tell you 2 that haven't been opened because they're on my shelf.
Maybe it's in there.
Maybe it's in there, Troy. Could you imagine you open them in 20 years? Your wife would divorce you. She'd be like, "We could have had what?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, the house we could have had. Well, that's my thing. I'm thinking about it in the way where, you look at Connor McDavid boxes where, you probably bought Series 1 for back then, like $60, and they reached a peak of almost over $1,000 or $1,000 a box.
Yeah, expensive.
That's my
no. They were guys. LCSs were trying to get 100 for them. I don't remember if they stuck or whatever, but I remember that. I remember that clearly. $100? What?
Yeah, right. Crazy.
That now.
Right. That was a crazy idea.
I know some folks tried. Not you, Dan and Jimmy. Don't worry. I'm not talking about you guys. But that was definitely there was some raised eyebrows during the McDavid. I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
And I tell you what, before you move on real quick, you were talking about spicing up Ultimate, and I don't want to go too far back, but I think another great thing they could do is maybe it's a shield, maybe it's just, I don't know, a big card, but a McKinnon and Kucherov duel where they inscribe how they've got 4 straight seasons with 100 points or something like that.
Stuff like that is
I love
awesome.
that stuff. I love it.
Have you guys ever thought of pulling the Celebrini Young Guns 101, where would the biggest flex be pulling it and never telling anyone about it?
That'd be the biggest silly thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
It'd be a big flex.
I would love that. I would savor the moment 5 years from now for you to be flipping through my top loader binder and just boom. It's right there.
I don't think I'd care as much as you think I do. Maybe Dave Blue.
Or just you have it out at your table at a show. Like if you're setting up at a show, just have it in the showcase if anybody notices.
No one would believe it. They would just gloss over it. They'd be like, they'd think it's an allure card or something.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Why do you have a color flow in here? Whatever. Just keep going.
So far we've talked about Phil Senators, we've talked about the Sabres, but now it's time to get serious with the show and talk about the Minnesota Wild. And
I feel like we've been talking about the Wild all show already.
We never do. It's not enough. Can't get enough. We do feedback forums, and the number one thing people say is more talk about Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov, who both reached 40 goals in the same game this week. Nice. First time for Boldy. His previous high was 31 in 2022. Still just 24 years old, too. Hitting 40 goals, not bad. Fourth time for Dollar Bill Kirill, who is in his sixth season with the Wild. Only been 7 40-goal seasons in Wild history. So we have 2 of them this year, and Kirill Kaprizov has 4 of the 7. Very impressive to me. I don't think Kaprizov's market will ever move much because of his age thing. But I don't know. What's the vibe like in your breaks on Boldy? Are people more excited about his cards lately?
Yeah, what's nice is we do a ton of 22, 23 stuff, and I've shared this before that I think in terms of hockey breaking, you get a lot of people that aren't in it for the almighty dollar. They're in it to actually just buy their team and actually just collect their team and get cards. So we have some people that are big Wild fans like yourself that, will come in and take down the Wild, no problem. But we chase we've pulled a couple draft day marks of Boldy, O-Pee-Chee Platinum. We pulled, I think, a Matt Boldy rookie auto, Skybox Metal Universe. We pulled some PMGs and some Boldy autos, and people are hyped. Yeah, I think the Wild fans like yourself again is just they're in on him, and they're definitely excited when they see his cards pop up, his ink or his short print stuff.
He's a big kid. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was.
Very skilled. Has been a little bit inconsistent, but the last couple years maybe has turned that around. Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of 2022 class, though, the last guy I wanted to mention is Wyatt Johnston. He's the guy for me that I'm just waiting for the hobby to catch up to. 41 goals. First time ever exceeding 40 in his career. He's 22 years old. It's his 4th season, and here's his goal progression by years in the league. He scored 24 goals as a rookie, which is dang good. I don't know if a rookie this year will have 24. Then he had 32, 33, now 41 goals.
Ooh,
130 goals so far in 322 career games, and his 80 points this season is a career high too. I'm a little confused why there isn't more hobby love for Wyatt Johnston. Anyone have any ideas?
I
think we constantly beat a dead horse. It's geography, man. I don't know how else to say that.
I think it's a weird stigma around that class for some reason too, because people get hype about right. I don't know, but when I look at our breaks and things like that, 21, 22, people get hype. Cider, Caulfield, and the such, and then 23, 24, you have Bedard Mania. So it's like 22, 23 is just that weird in between year where I feel like a lot of people get slept on, including.
And you had Beniers fizzling out too, which probably he was the marquee guy, and that probably doesn't help.
I like Troy. That's a really good point. I think you're pretty accurate there. Mixed with my answer of geography. Both our answers are the answer.
Exactly.
That's good.
Okay, we're gonna move on now. So baby Bobby Orr got a boo-boo. I don't know if you guys saw this. It's a no bueno for Avalanche and their fans, of course. Apparently suffered an upper body injury this past week in the Avs win over Calgary. Got hurt after a hit along the boards during the second period on Monday. Left the game, did not return. Injury is being described as nothing serious. He'll likely miss a few games, but the playoffs do not appear to be in jeopardy. That's coming from the team. Here's the thing, though, and why I wanted to talk about this, is that we know hockey players are tough, and they'll play through almost anything, unless you're Keith Tkachuk talking about the Florida Panthers. I do get worried, though, about these types of injury this time of year. And if it's something that could be very limiting, potentially, to Makar, because there's playing and, like Matthew Tkachuk is a great example. It seems like every year in the Stanley Cup, you find after he had 12 broken bones and a collapsed lung, and you had Draisaitl, who's like basically limping off the ice every shift a couple of years ago. So with that context, would you guys be a little concerned if you're an Avs fan with baby Bobby Orr missing a little time at this point, or no?
No, probably do him. So what's the injury? I wasn't listening. What
body.
happened? I hate that. So silly. It all depends. It could be a tactic. Could be just get him a little rest. Taves will take care of it. Malinsky, Burns. That's all I know on that team. I think it's a tactic. I think he's just banged up. It's a condensed season, the Olympics, everything. He's bruised up. You want as fresh a Makar as possible. Yeah, maybe he's a little bit hurt. Of course he is. They all are.
Everybody's
too much hockey, man. Too much hockey this year.
I think I would, kind of answer your question with a question where, you see in football, and I don't know about baseball as much, but football, like once you clinch the playoffs and you got your seating in your spot, they sit a lot of their starters to avoid
Fair.
this thing. And I know, like you said, hockey players are tough and they play through a lot, but not even Cal McCarr, Draisaitl, they had to shut him down for the rest of the regular season. So it's like, to avoid these kind of things, once you obviously Edmonton's in a different position having to fight for their spot right now in their division. But when you're McCarr and it's all but locked up, should you kind of maybe limit his minutes or just keep these guys healthy so you don't run into this problem and possibly jeopardize them being healthy for the playoffs?
I think that's the age-old question. Where do you want to go in with momentum and keeping your routine versus sitting some guys and resting them to be fresher in the playoffs? I do want to talk, though, for a second about the whole upper body, lower body thing. Because of sports betting, the NFL has had to get extremely specific, and there's major fines. Like if they don't disclose almost immediately the exact injury a player has, because you're allowed to, in various states here in the U.S., and I'm sure various places across Canada, because you're allowed to bet on the NHL, I don't understand why they're not held to that same standard.
Here's my thing, because I've brought up this same question all the time. You got to think about it. I think from my perspective in hockey, you can check, you can hit. So if they're disclosing the specific injury, you don't think that there's players out there like Gudis or somebody that would try to target the injury and
Point
maybe make it
taken.
worse?
But if it's the Super Bowl and an opposing player in the NFL or on an NFL team has bruised ribs, you don't think the linebacker
Yeah, you
is
have to know.
squaring right up for those ribs?
Yeah, no, I mean,
I just think it's
yes,
strange
I get
that,
it.
that,
Yes.
that the NHL, and I would assume at some point the NHL
Do you know
is going to
why?
be forced
I'll
to
tell
do
you
that.
why. Because it's happened in the 90s. I remember because I'm a Sens fan and stupid Leafs. Sorry, your blue team. Sorry, I don't like them. Pat Quinn is the one who started doing that. And they asked him, why aren't you being specific about your injuries? It was during the playoffs. I don't remember against who. And he said, it's to protect my players, to protect our plan moving forward. It never went away. So Pat Quinn, the good old boys club, what's a different one than the West, but he's part of the Ontario one. That's where it started. I remember it. I remember it. That's where it started.
Getting
Again,
back to
the blue team.
the blue team, the root of all
Causing
evil.
problems.
Getting back to McCarr quick on the season, he's got 20 goals, 75 points, and 73 games played, plus 29. So another great year. According to FanDuel, he has the third best odds at plus 3,000 to win the Norris, behind Zach Werenski at minus 650 and Evan Bouchard at plus 550. And Cale Makar is the 2019 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 3,086, 60% gem rate. Last sold for $590 US on April 3rd. Down 17% in the past month, down 8% in the past 3 months. 52-week high, 856 US for PSA 10. 52-week low, 400. We're going to stick on the defenseman for our next topic. We talked last Monday about, or maybe the Monday before that, about establishing an award for defensive defensemen. And it got a lot of great feedback, so I want to thank everyone for who to potentially name that award for. I want to take the opposite end of the spectrum, though, today and talk about the offensive era for defensemen that we are in. I found some interesting stats about this season. So far this year, there's 6 NHL defensemen that have scored 20 or more goals in the NHL. We have Jacob Chikrin, who has 24, 25 now. Matthew Schaefer, 22 goals. Zach Werenski at 21. And then Darren Radish, Cale Makar, and Evan Bouchard all have 20. The last time 6 or more defensive players scored 20 or more goals in a season was in 1993, or 33 years ago, where you had Al McInnes, Sandis Ojelund, Brian Leach, Ray Bourque, Matthew Schneider, and Rob Blake. 4 of the 6 are Hall of Famers, of course, too. And check this out, too. Going back to the offensive era of defensemen we're in. if you look at historical point per game averages by defensemen with at least 250 points in their career, 6 of the top 20 with highest average point per games in for their career are active players right now. So you have Cale Makar, who's third all time, Quinn Hughes 6th, Adam Fox 9th, Eric Carlson 13th, Evan Bouchard 18th, and Roman Josi 20th. And 4 defensemen this year are currently sitting at more than a point per game average. You have Bouchard, Werenski, Quinnesota, and Cale Makar. And we could have as many as 7 if a few players go on a heater here at the end. So with all this being said, here's my question. As the offensive defenseman continues to emerge in both goals and points production, as well as we are more and more wowed by their offensive skills and abilities, do you guys see that the tide changing in the hobby? Where even going back a year or two ago, the narrative on collecting defensemen is, well, that they'll never have hobby value compared to point producing forwards. I kind of feel like that the status is rising, and that it's not going to just be Cale Makar and everyone else. That with Schaefer and some of the other young prospects, Shimmy Shakes and some of these other guys, that collecting defensemen can be a real thing.
I mean, the way I look at it, one of the guys who's already on my radar for next season is Lane Hutson's little brother, Cole. Guy's got 7 points already in 10 games. And, you know, if it tracks the way it usually does, he's going to be a Series 1 Young Guns. So one of the first releases of 26-27 is going to feature him. And he's already, you know, shown up offensively. I mean, and the thing is too, is right. Like, yeah, the forwards are flashy, scoring the goals, making the saucer passes, but you know, the defenseman is always seen right as like the quarterback of the power play in that, and things run through them. So I think there's an opportunity. I mean, you see
Cale Makar was lightning in a bottle. He won a cup super young. Nobody knew he was going to be baby Bobby Orr. It's lightning in a bottle. I don't think we're going to see that again. I just don't think we're going to see that.
That creates a template, though, and all these leagues are copycat leagues. I get what you're saying, Phil, but then part of me thinks that it's like, well, if we get to where we're going after all these, maybe a little bit smaller, shiftier, faster, skating, puck-moving defensemen who can score goals and quarterback the power play, that it's like, what would it take for the league to revert back to the 6'4", 220-pounder who can barely skate and scores 4 goals in a season? I just don't see that happening.
I don't think it. Yeah, it's not gonna. There's no. The boys aren't having a lot of beers after the games. They're not hacking darts. Not that they did in the 90s as much as the 80s, but they still did. Yeah, fitness is big. I mean, look at my biggest knock on my goalie is that his off-ice professionalism and athleticism is not in tune. That's when you strip all my making fun of him down. To be a professional athlete, you got to do the Crosby thing. But then there's outliers like Ovechkin, you know, Fatso popping, breaking records, and it's crazy.
Eating Subway and hot Cheetos. Yeah. You know,
I just contradicted myself. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think about it this way too. If you look at the 24-25 Upper Deck rookie class, it's not close, but it's Macklin Celebrini. But then who's among one of the more valuable rookies in that class is Lane Hutson, in my opinion. You know, you obviously have to factor in he's in Montreal, an original 6. That's a huge market, kind of like Phil was talking about earlier, the geography. But, I mean, kid won Calder last year. And, yeah, I mean, in the era of social media, I know I've brought this point up multiple times. You know, these kids are getting more highlights. Quinn Hughes is a highlight reel too. You know, they're featured more. You know what I mean? Like the defensemen are actually featured more than they have been in the past. And yeah, I think the days of what you said, the defensive defensemen are behind us for now, but everything always comes back around.
Okay, topic number 5. One of the things with this weekly 7 bit that I'm trying to do is to highlight players that we don't typically talk on the show. Listen, we could do, at this point, every podcast, we could be wall-to-wall Brini every minute, and I'm sure that would satisfy a lot of people. But I do want to talk about players that maybe have been under our radar, if not other people as well. And I saw an article about the emergence, and I don't know if it's emergence, but how much John Tavares has stepped in and filled the void for Austin Matthews once he was injured. And it kind of made me wonder if his career's been a little bit underappreciated at times. And of course, it got like weird last year when he lost his seat to Captain America, who I guess the Maple Leafs consider more of a leader, right, Phil?
You got it.
Yeah. Since Matthews went down, though, JT has really emerged and played well. He's led the team with 5 goals and 10 points since the Matthews injury. And the 35-year-old Tavares is now pacing for 31 goals and 70 points this season. Again, not a bad year for your 17th year in the NHL. And if he keeps playing for a few more years, he has a chance at hitting 600 goals before he hangs them up. So to date, he's played in 1,260 games, scored 523 goals, and has 1,179 points. He's a one-time NHL first All-Star team selection. He played in 6 All-Star games, was on the 2010 All-Rookie team. Doesn't have a lot of personal hardware or accolades to go for, but I don't know. Do you guys feel like that his career has maybe been a little underappreciated at this point? Is he a Hall of Famer? Where do we peg the legacy of John Tavares?
I don't even know where to start. I think he's one of the forgotten one, kind of like that, like my Thomas Chabot. Not obviously John Tavares is much better than Thomas Chabot. That's not what I'm saying. But Thomas Chabot came into my Sens at a weird transitional time. He's played on my team almost 10 years now. Nothing's happened. He's like a fart in the wind. Great numbers, great player. I don't know. No, he slipped through the cracks. That's how I feel like John Tavares on a higher level. He slipped through the cracks. In 20 years, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was pretty good. And he could have been great. He on the right place, right time, right team. John Tavares could have been a legend, I think.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, too. Was he same rookie class as Stamkos, or a year separates the two of them?
I don't know.
I think he might have been like well, hold on. He's a 2009 Young Guns. Stammer was 2008, right?
Right. Okay. So yeah, so a year separates them. Yeah, I don't know if he kind of got overshadowed by Stamkos a little bit too. Possibly.
Maybe.
Maybe. I agree with Phil.
You're good. You're good enough. You don't get over. Did Crosby overshadow Ovechkin, vice versa? No, they both stood out.
No, but I think that's also an anomaly, though, that we have.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well,
I'm just trying to say, if you're good enough, you stand out. That's all. Don't make excuses.
Have you guys ever met a John Tavares collector?
I'm afraid.
I'm not saying that there isn't out there, but
well, they'll come on Friday nights with Phil. Be like, hey, I'm a John Tavares collector.
Good.
Phil, I thought we didn't exist. I'm like, okay, there's one or two. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
Yeah, it's a weird case with him. I mean, yeah, I think once again, another time where once he's all retired and all is said and done, then you'll look back on the numbers and be like, man,
You want me a jerk?
him? Yeah,
I'll be a jerk. He screwed up. He screwed up. He had an opportunity to do what I go to bed dreaming at night to be a hero of a blue collar, not even a blue collar, like I don't care. A hero of a community anywhere. You blew it, John. You left the Islanders, then you went to Toronto. You blew it. You blew it. You could have been an Islander legend, man. Look where you could have been now. You could have been Matthew Schaefer's mentor for 1 or 2, maybe 3 years, probably not, maybe 2. You blew it. I'm punching low, but when he did that, I was like, oh, if I get it, dude, but I wouldn't have done that.
No,
I would have.
I think that's.
Look at Matthew Schaefer's embracing. He's like, come to daddy, right? He's building. Yeah, you screwed up, John. And I'm sure, John, you're a great guy. Maybe you listened to your agent a little too much. Maybe your wife spent too much money. I don't know. I have no idea. But one of my great. I wish I had more kids, and I wish I was the hero of a community.
All right. Last question on Tavares. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
I don't know enough about him. No, I'd say no. Hall of Fame, not Hall of Good.
Yeah.
If he gets to 600 goals, though, that would probably make him a lock, wouldn't it?
That's pretty good. I didn't know he was over 5.
Yeah, 523.
I mean, do you think about it, though, in just playing devil's advocate as usual? Do you think about it in the way where obviously his early years in the Islanders, he was potting a lot, but Is it just because he's been around almost 20 years? That you know what I
He
mean?
won by default. He won by default.
I understand that I think though that there is the consistency and longevity are important factors of greatness. So I don't like to knock players for that.
No, and I think you can make a case for Tavares because early on in those Islanders days, he was very, very good. And I'll tell you right now, he elevated the play of people around him because the Sabres took Matt Molson after he had a career year where he played a lot with John Tavares. I believe he skated with him quite a bit, and he didn't do much as a Sabre. So,
Yeah. Last thing on Tavares, he's a 2009 Young Guns PSA 10 pop, just 277, 31% gem rate. Last sold for $300 US on March 22nd, up 32% in the past month, up 23% in the past 3 months. 52-week high, we're at it right now, 300, 52-week low, 192. So, yeah, not a lot of value, especially the low pop there. Well, you talked about the potential of your Sabres playing the Canadiens, and you're a little scared, Troy. I want to talk about them next because they feel like an embarrassment of riches right now, especially in the young player prospect arena. And not just today, but 2 to 3 years from now, this team could be an absolute monster. And so I want to try to what we also know, too, in the hobby is that with rare exception, there's typically one chase from every team. Yeah, there is the McDavid and Draisaitl and McKinnon and Makar, but there's not a lot of, maybe you get a secondary guy. There's a pretty big list of potential candidates here in Montreal that I'm going to run through, and then you guys got to pick, if you had to bet today who's going to be the hobby chase, who it'll be. So yeah, Nick Suzuki is 26 years old, 27 goals and 94 points. It's pretty good. Cole Caulfield's 24, 1 goal away from 50 at 49.
Wow.
Shimmy Shake's 21, already basically a point per game defenseman, 2 years into the league, and very dynamic and fun to watch. Even Slavkovsky is just 21 years old, 1 goal away from 30, having a career best year at 30 goals at 21, pretty good. Ivan Demidov is 20, will likely finish. He says the second, Calder voting consensus there. He's got 16 goals, 59 points, and 75 games played. Then you can even go on to the Jacobs. In net, you have Jacob Dobish at 24 years old, 26, 8 and 4, 2.73 goals against, 0.905 save. And then Jacob Fowler, who's just 21 years old, which is a baby for an NHL goalie, 8, 5 and 2, 2.55 goals against, again, 0.905 save percentage. Beyond that, there's some more prospects coming. You got Michael Haig, who has 13 goals and 51 points in 38 games this year at Michigan. Now, Michigan is in the NCAA Frozen Four, and if they lose right away, there's a chance Haig makes his debut in the next week for the Canadiens. We'll see. You have David Reinbacher, Alexander, is it Zhuravsky, or a couple other big prospects. So again, going back to that kind of historical thing in the hobby, you get one guy, maybe two. Who the heck is going to be the one that emerges in this crazy talented young roster?
I think for me, if I look at it from different factors like prices of boxes of product and things like that, I like Cole Caulfield a lot.
How can you not? I mean, I don't I'm blown away. I'm confused. I don't get it. Montreal hobby. Maybe if it was
hot and cold and hot and cold and yeah.
I don't know. Listen, the Quebecers, they love their prospects, but then I think you got to prove it, right? There's a big laundry list you got to of legendary, notable athletes, and Caulfield broke a record this year. He's just got to keep doing it. Maybe I don't know. It's a very anglophone name that doesn't help him. Hey, Cole Caulfield.
Yeah.
Maybe they could put a little accent aigu at the end there. I don't know.
Ooh, or a little accent grave.
Caulfield, hey, Cole Caulfield. That's it, bro. Through the roof.
Also, Josh, I will get back to Montreal in a second here, but I don't appreciate the non-mention of Beckett Seneca. I am all the way on the Beckett Seneca wagon. So, excuse you, sir. He would be probably second in voting after Matthew Schaefer.
Oh, you think so?
That's
Yeah,
my
maybe.
that's my take. That's my take is that he was the first. He was the first rookie to 50 points this year over Schaefer.
What?
But I know
Who
it's going to
cares?
be Schaefer. Who cares?
Oh, he
I
got
mean-
it there faster? What?
Yeah, he's-
How about an accumulative of 82 games? That's why they wait, because it's a better sample. It's equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome.
I mean, maybe it's one of those things where Seneca and Demidov are 2A, 2B, but Seneca's.
Yeah, maybe.
I
Dude, I don't know. I'm just busting your balls.
Okay,
no,
here's a
I
question.
know. I'm a big
Schaefer,
I'm a
no
big
matter
Seneca
what.
fan.
Schaefer
But-
has to win.
Yeah,
he has to
100%.
win.
I think that's pretty much a lock. You two can get one GM job, and you get to choose between Montreal and Anaheim. And when you're looking at the roster, which job are you taking?
I don't even need to look at the roster. Montreal, thank you. Not even close.
You don't think Anaheim's close with?
I don't want to live in Anaheim. I want to live in Montreal.
No, but to win a Stanley
You
Cup,
wanna
you
live
want
in
to live in
Anaheim?
Anaheim?
I'd rather I'd have a better life in Montreal. Yeah, you guys just don't know. That's all. You go live in Anaheim, I'll live in Montreal. You visit me, I'll visit you. We'll see. I'm not saying we wouldn't have fun in Anaheim. Of course we would. Yeah, it'd be great. That's in Florida, right?
Yeah, well, it's basically just south of LA.
Oh,
You have
wait. Oh.
Cutter
I said
Gauthier,
Florida.
Leo Carlson, Beckett Seneca. You still have McTavish, however you feel about. You have Dostal, who's like one of the best young goalies. You have Minchikov on defense. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's like
You're thinking, yeah, but every year I get to go to the alumni banquet and I get to meet legends.
I'm talking about to win the Stanley Cup, though. Can I reframe the question then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're trying to win the Stanley Cup, which roster are you taking?
I think I will agree with Phil. I think I'm taking Montreal after I made all that noise about Beckett Seneca. Not trying to contradict myself. But at the same time, I think it's a little closer than just, Montreal right away. I think there's a little more thought behind it than that. Like it's close.
So strictly just the on ice performance
Yeah.
to win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
I don't know. Flip a coin. I'll take either.
Well, let me throw San Jose in there too. Now you have three choices.
Oh, well, San Jose. Yeah, I want to hang
Yeah,
out with
make it
Celebrini,
San
man.
Jose.
Yeah.
Enough. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
All right. Last topic in the weekly 7. The Athletic Scott Wheeler, who's their draft expert, recently came out with his way too early, and I love way too early everything. That's my
Not
life.
the draft. Are we doing the draft?
2027 NHL draft prospects list. It's never too early, though, for us hobbyists to get a jump on the next big chase. We have to learn these names. We are committed to the bit. On Thursday's show, as an example, Phil, you'll be breaking down Canada's U10 rankings.
I am.
So, okay, back to 2027. So Wheeler we're not going to go through a bunch of them, but he has 3 prospects in the tier 1 rankings. Like these could be NHL stars. And I don't know, maybe these names will be rolling off the tongue a few years from now. We'll be sitting here talking about like $12,000 young guns. But for me, these were all new. So I think his top prospect is Landon DuPont. Have you guys heard of him?
Ooh, the DuPont Registry. Yeah.
great name though. Don't know him, but great name.
Sounds very sophisticated, eh? Like it'd be on Succession or something. I'm going to Landon's house. The DuPonts. Yes.
He comes from
Great
old money.
Poupon.
Yeah. Oh, the Grey Poupon. He sounds like he comes from old money though. This Landon.
Old money. Yeah. Old
Oh,
money.
the DuPont money, yeah.
New money is annoying. Yeah, old money is nice.
Yeah.
Well, I worked at country clubs growing up because I was a golf caddy at Evans Scholar bit, but I saw that all the time. The difference there's a huge difference between old money and new money. New money guy rolls into the golf course in August in his Lamborghini with a mink coat. It's 110 degrees, has like 12,000 like pinky ring diamonds on. And old money people just drive like Jeep, and yet they're billionaires, and this guy's like barely made $1 million, right? It's like they're much more chill, a little weirder, but much more chill.
Oh,
The old
I'll
money
take
people.
that any day. You want that as a neighbor? That'd be fun. Yeah, go to those parties or don't.
Okay, so Landon DuPont is the first WHL exceptional status defenseman ever, and only the second WHL exceptional status player after Connor Bedard. As a 15-year-old in Everett for the Silvertips, he produced 60 points in 64 games as a defenseman. And his 16-year-old year, I'm sorry, I said that weird. He improved to 73 points in 63 games played, playing 24 to 25 minutes a game in the WHL. So Wheeler thinks he's a candidate for the number 1 overall pick. Not a lock at this point, but who knows? We might have another Lane Hudson, Matthew Schaefer-esque dynamo coming in the next couple years into the NHL, and Landon DuPont. The next guy, so there's 2 more in the tier 1. Alexis Joseph, who's a 6'5", 201-pound center for the St. John's Sea Dogs, currently a 16-year-old. Played 54 games this year, 24 goals, 60 points. Had a great tournament at the U17 Hockey or World Hockey Challenge, scoring 6 goals in 5 games for Canada's red team. Sounds like he had multiple. A lot of these international tournaments, Canada rolls in with multiple teams, don't they? Like red, white, black sort of deal.
A little bit.
Another thing on Joseph is he's a summer birthday. So he's similar to Brini, which is starting to become, I think, more of a thing in the NHL prospect world, where he could potentially be a very young 18-year-old coming into the NHL. And then the last one is a Russian. So it's Nazar Privalov. I don't know. Sorry if I butchered it. So this season he's with CSKA in the MHL, and Privalov has 30 goals and totaled 49 points in 51 games played. Only Matt Vymichkov has scored more goals at Privalov's age in the MHL, and only Nikita Kucherov and Ivan Rybikin have scored more points. He's huge, 6'4", more than 200 pounds. And well, I know, Louis, I want to bring you on here because I know you follow the MHL closely. You want to chime in with your scouting report on Nazar Primalov?
I absolutely can. Remember, you asked, I put something together here on him. So, for Mr.
That was another Baba Louie Hobby hot take.
Sorry.
You dirty Madigan. That was mean. That was
He's gonna like put an oil slick next time I'm coming into his garage to do a banana peel. I'm gonna.
Josh has been waiting all episode for that. I guarantee you. No doubt.
All right, Louis, give your scouting report.
I have a scouting report
Okay.
on Privalov. So, if you didn't know his position, I said it's somewhere between a skilled forward and human chaos generator.
Oh, wow. Ooh,
Shoots.
Sounds like a Marvel movie.
Yes, he shoots with confidence, sometimes even at the net. He's a big dude, like you said. He's listed generously, plays like he's fueled by Red Bull.
Nice.
His skill set, what I found was his hands. They're silky. He can deke a defender, a goalie, and sometimes even his own self in one shift. He's got a sneaky quick release. Goalies don't see it, mostly because it comes from angles that several geometry laws just can't explain. Passing, he's got elite vision. But the completion rate, we're still under investigation.
No hockey IQ. So, but we'll have you continue to work on that.
I'm
and
not
sure he'll
done.
end up
No,
on
you're
the
not
Canadiens.
cutting me off. I'm not done. You asked, and I put this together, and you're going to listen.
Can we mute him? How do we mute him?
No, you don't. Okay? He's a physical kid, though. He will engage, mostly by accident, while trying something creative. He's not afraid of contact. He's just not actively looking for it. You know, it's kind of like...
We need that Oscars music where they play you off the stage.
No. I got more. You asked, you're going to get it, buddy. You didn't know I did my homework.
with a big hook.
Yeah.
You got a hook.
Compete level. He's got high compete level. If there's a loose puck, he wants it. If there isn't one, he might create one just to chase it around. Intangibles, his confidence, unshakable. Decision making, shakable. Entertainment value is through the roof. The coaches love his effort. They tolerate the chaos, and they keep a stress ball and somebody to talk to nearby. My final take: if hockey was judged purely on vibes and creativity, Privalov is a first ballot Hall of Famer. If it's judged on structure, we'll see.
I like
Okay.
provolone cheese, and that's all I
So
could
do
think
I.
about the whole time.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
Oh,
Thank you, Baba Louie, for filing that report. And that is your weekly 7.
good job.
Slap Sharks is a Gongshow partner sponsor. We are thankful for their support of our show. The current Slap Sharks weekly eBay auction is live, ends Thursday night. 7,500 sports cards ending on Thursday. A lot of bangers, as you would expect. So head to slapsharks.com to mark your favorites, get your early bids in. Some absolutely fantastic cards to bid on this week. And if you want to try selling your cards in the biggest weekly hockey auction there is, check out the links in the show description, because Slap Sharks is an amazing option. They make it so easy by basically doing all the work. You just box them up, ship them to Slap Sharks if you're in Canada, or to the Gongshow if you're in the US, and we got you from there. So for complete consignment info, including payout rates, and to get the process started today, head to slapsharks.com. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
I hired the one to follow. Hobby news. My goodness.
Hobby news.
All right. Got some a couple interesting things to roll through. The first one is we typically do the grading recaps that come out each month for GemRate. Want to go through this quickly. Something like fascinated me for the first time in a long time in this that I can't wait to ask you guys about. So first, getting through sort of the top line data in it. When you're looking at total items graded for the month of March, activity was up 19% over February. Month over month gains by the top 5 grading companies, and for every company but SGC had a year over year gain too. PSA graded in total 2.17 million cards, which is crazy. CGC graded 600,000, very strong, but I'm guessing a lot of it, and we'll see in a second, is TCG. Here's the interesting thing though. When I was looking on the GemRate, they had some footnotes. And they also listed grading totals for a couple other smaller, I guess, grading companies. Have you guys ever heard of AGS grading?
No.
I don't think so.
They graded 58,400 cards last month.
Yeah, but did they though? Like who's what?
Well, GemRate verifies it, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
But
So
that's
that-
more than SGC or TAG.
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm gonna need. more
I'm just saying.
information.
That kind of blew my mind. So I went and checked it out,
Yeah.
and I'm not giving an endorsement or anything like that, but that's a lot of cards. 60,000 cards in a month for a grading company I've honestly never heard of.
Well, there's a big missing piece of information. Clearly, like, is it GemRate's side company?
Maybe
I don't
know.
Does GemRate's brother-in-law own a company? I mean, I don't know. It's where my brain goes.
Well, maybe somebody is a big what is it called? AGS stan and can chime in the comments and tell us why they're so great. Okay, total sports cards graded. About 863,000 total sports cards were graded by the Big Five. So 40% of the total cards graded last month. PSA led the way with 700,000 sports cards. CGC graded 87,000, so about 15% of the cards they graded were sports cards. So they're still very predominantly TCG. And Beckett is showing some life. In sports cards, they were up 28% month over month and 9% year over year.
Wasn't there some news about them? They're doing something.
Well, I think that PSA is going to give it a go. When the purchase acquisition announcement was made, I think there's a lot of people thought that they would just sort of bury the Beckett brand and sunset it. But from everything PSA is saying, it looks like that they want to invest and keep the brand going. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
If you look at cards graded by category, PSA graded about 23,000 hockey cards last month, up 11% over February. Hockey saw an uptick with all the other companies as well, other than SGC, but no hockey athletes nor card made PSA 10's top 10 list last month. So there you go.
You know, I'll be interested to see if when you look at this in May for the month of April, if hockey percentage goes up, because I have a feeling a lot of people are going to try to grade the Jack Hughes Tops Now cards that are now in hand. of
The 300,000 of them.
the Olympic golden goal. No,
That's a good
truly, I
take.
genuinely think people will probably try to slab those.
Are you sitting on phone books?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I actually just have this nice chair I got for Christmas.
Oh, okay. You're so much taller than us.
Yeah, no, I was trying to do the framing gimmick to make sure I left myself.
okay.
So I don't know. I was trying to frame it.
Well, I
properly.
noticed almost an hour and a half later. So
I'm going to ask a question, Phil, that I'm sure Troy will have no clue because he's too young. What was it Raiders of the Lost Ark where the little kid was sitting on the phone book driving the taxi?
Oh yeah. And he had the block on his foot wrapped in string.
Yeah.
At the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Now Phil's gonna cut my face out and edit it on that kid. And next thing I know, that's gonna be on
Just
Instagram.
gave him an idea.
No, I can't because he's Asian and people will mistake it.
Oh,
They'll be like, oh, he's trying something out. I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I can't. I want to, but I won't. Yeah.
Moving along here, this is astounding. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but if you haven't been convinced yet that the hobby is booming, well, check this out. So far, every month in 2026, both January, February, March have set new trading card sales records per Card Ladder's industry report. The report measures secondary market sales from the largest marketplaces. Again, it's not entirely comprehensive. There's no way to do that, but it is a good measuring stick for where the hobby's at. But last month, oh my gosh, more than $606 million was spent on trading cards on the public marketplaces that Card Ladder measures. That's an increase from the previous record, which was a month prior. Phil, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You okay, Phil?
Keep going.
You need a minute? Yeah. You blowing your nose or something?
Yes.
Okay. That's an increase from the previous record set the month prior at 481.65 million. So for casual Troy, 26% increase in 1 month. Again, over the previous all-time high. What is going on? 606 million last month alone.
I feel like things are just buzzing in terms of baseball's back, and there was the World Baseball Classic. I think you're still feeling effects of the post-Olympic sports thing. And then
I think junk wax era touched a lot of hearts. Whether they ever went back into it during COVID or not, maybe this is just cleaning up all the people that didn't get into the cards. But I mean, I'm 44. I'm a rich poor guy. I have more than enough money to go get most things I want in the card world. I think that's what's happening, man. It's tangible. I know we keep kicking that dead horse, but when a dude gets to hold something and it's not a digital screen, it's tapping into some childhood stuff there, man. There's something there. There's something there. So that's why I feel very good. Our hobby having a good fundamental base here. I do.
You're a dude that likes to hold something, right?
I got a little package. Things. Yep.
Okay. Great.
Bad timing.
Okay, so eBay led the way last month with 451 million in sales, or about 74% of the 606 million total. Fanatics was second in 67.6 million sales, Gold in 45.2 million, Alt 22.4 million, and then Heritage 16.2 million. It's not just the total money spent. Also, last month set an all-time record for total transactions with about 7.4 million different purchases. The previous high was in January at 6.8 million. So when you look at March, where there's 606 million in sales, and divide that by the total transactions, it kind of gives you an interesting indicator that about the average transaction amount last month on public marketplaces was about $82. So if you've ever wondered like what on average people spend on a card, I guess that would be it. Again, just crazy. And it makes me wonder like how much runway is left for this hobby to grow.
Well, it's unlimited, right? As long as
I guess.
How many people are there?
I know typically we stick to hockey cards, but I think earlier this week, Topps announcing that they have officially taken the NFL license back over. And Chrome is coming out in a couple weeks, and they showed examples of the cards that you're going to be able to get in there. And I don't know. Maybe not like once again, not talking like this, but maybe another little when this comes out.
Yeah.
Bumble.
I think it all depends on how the sports companies on the sports leagues adopt it. The more they push, the more pop. We just need more people like Tom Brady to say it's okay. That's what I think.
For sure.
More people get in front of it. I'm not down. I really don't think opening boxes with famous people is getting it done. It's awkward. It's cringy. I hate it. Sorry, Troy. I know you like it. Maybe you have to do it because of your job sometimes. Well, I don't like opening. I just assume maybe you've opened boxes with some athletes at some point. Yeah. I can't watch that stuff. Maybe I'm on my own there. I don't think that's what's going to make the hobby bigger. I think it's like the leagues pushing it more and more to be part of their culture, kind of like chicken wings and football, beer and sports. Baseball cards, I guess, would have the most grassroots kind of feel to it, like baseball and baseball cards. I would start there probably. Should maybe at Wrigley Field, they could have a promotion with Topps or something. I don't know, but I think if it goes that way and get rid of some of these cringy moments and like, I don't think the national, maybe we need maybe that's why I think Fanatics Fest is better. The national is good for us, for the true collector, but Fanatics is a beautiful stepping stone, an introductory event to bring other people in. And who knows? All it takes is one or two influential people in some other category to be like, holy crap, this is fun. This is a bit of an untapped market. And hopefully they don't come in too heavy, too hot, try to adjust things. And they just fall in line and surf the wave of our hobby.
Yeah.
And then, we just more colorful personalities that aren't so... I know I keep using the word cringy. There's just a lot of awkwardness in our hobby.
Who's the cringiest right now for you guys?
Dorky. Pardon?
Who's the cringiest, like beyond casual Troy? Who's the cringiest?
Like influencers and stuff? All the main were like, well, I listen, I know I have a little bit of a not beef, but a personal experience with Kyle from King of Cards, but I find him incredibly awkward. But he's great with the kids and, but it's good for content. And, Jeff Wilson's kind of leaning into himself, which is funny. I think all these guys are net positive, good for the hobby. None of them upset me, but I don't watch them. I don't even watch us. I don't know. I'm watching like History Channel.
Well, that's why I would say flip side of what you're saying, right, is, I'm 32. Phil, you talk about it. You're 44, and you play on that sometimes. How you play on like, hey man, I'm a little bit older. So I think when you talk about the athletes opening cards, and sometimes you can get a little cringy in that. I don't think these card companies are really going after us anymore. They're going for the younger kids. So if you think about it,
that's a good point. That's
right.
Good
If
point.
You're watching. I'm just going to use Jackson Dart as an example, but you're watching Jackson Dart, the rookie QB phenom from the New York Giants. You're watching him open cards while the 15, 16 to early 20-year-olds are seeing that and they're like, "Whoa!"
Do they like it? Yeah, they so that's what they like.
I think that's what it is they're not necessarily targeting us anymore. They're targeting the next generation of card collectors, trying to say like, "Hey, look. Your favorite athletes like cards."
But they can't. Cool. But it's yeah, but he's not there. I haven't seen one video ever where an athlete's having a good time. They're just kind of looking at their PR guy like, can I go now?
Then I think he might be.
You don't have to be a 44 or 33 to know that. If I was 50, dude, I was pretty with it at 15. I was like, this guy doesn't want to be here.
If you're a casual sports fan, though, and you're excited about Jackson Dart, and you've never even considered buying a box or a pack of cards, and you see him on a video opening cards, it does plant the seed.
That it is.
In your head.
Then I'm incorrect.
And I think too, Phil, like before, yes, I would echo your sentiment, but there are more and more emerging athletes that are actually collectors and are coming out and saying they're collectors, like Joseph Wool of the Maple Leafs. He's a true card collector. He came in and ripped some cup with us a couple of years ago, was having the time of his life. Kike Hernandez, I don't know if you're familiar with him, plays for the Dodgers right now, but he just did a whole video where he was sitting there and opening a case of that Transcendent baseball, which is basically
on his own.
On his own. in the clubhouse
so
with a couple of his teammates.
I haven't seen something like that. Well,
Yeah.
Mike Trout is a big collector, right? I mean,
Mike Trout's a huge collector,
But
right?
authenticity, I don't know. I'm getting a lot of awkward, secondhand embarrassment in the confines of my own home by myself. I'm like, wow, like I
Well,
can't.
okay, but let me put it this way to you, Phil. There's a reason why Kim Kardashian gets $500,000 to do an Instagram post for a company, because it influences a ton of people to check out that brand or the offer of the whatever company is sponsoring that message. It's really the true word of influencer. It's influencing people. And when you have athletes that are endorsing it, and you're right, some look disinterested and like just transferring the money so I can go home.
Well, yeah, the constant, you're so great. No, you're so great. No, I love what you did. No, you did. Like, man, be quiet, move on, make something, create something. Let's get going. Like, I don't.
Well,
I'm excited because I think there is a massive opportunity and untapped things that haven't happened yet for the hobby to grow even more. I feel we're still pretty in an entirety. It's very amateur. It's very untapped. I think more money comes in, professionalism comes in, the silliness stays, the authenticity increases. Our hobby is exponential. There's no ceiling. It depends how it's framed moving forward. And I just think if it keeps staying a little dorky, it's not gonna go where we want it to. I don't know what constitutes it to be cool. I'm not sure, but
here's the thing too, is with breakers, influencers, anybody who puts themselves in front of the cameras, there's different levels to it, right? Where, like, you know, I had the opportunity to work in television news before I brought this to the hobby side of things that I'm doing now. So I fortunately had the experience of dealing with an athlete or whoever, like, you know, knowing how to conduct yourself and, you know, not take that fan side out of it. Like, yes, I'm a fan of you, but take that side out of it and just realize you're just another person. You're a human being. Let's just have a conversation. Some people don't have those experiences. So I think sometimes the cringy stuff, maybe the nervousness or the fandom of that person with the particular player.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Kind of shows through a little bit too. It's just, it's sometimes it's a level of comfortability, I think, as well.
But we're very social media based, right? And I mean, my reels are trying to get my friends in trouble. I'm not trying to get.
It's working.
Yeah.
It works.
Like,
it works.
As soon as we have a Barstool Sports in our hobby, that's the win for me. They're authentic. Love them. I hate Biz and I love Biz. I tell them to eat crap all the time, and then the very next day I'm like, "Great take, man! I love you. You're the best." That's what that is authentic, and that I want a Barstool, but
But you're a little edgier though, and you like the edgy stuff. Where there's ESPN
edgy
and there's
to
Barstool.
what though? You call it edgy. I call it authentic. I call it real life.
Maybe.
Well, see, that's the thing too. I think we've talked about it before with all the different influencers and social media people. It's basically our new TV, right? So, you know, Phil, if you're like, hey, something's cringy, your thumb, you can change the channel and you can go to something that you feel is more authentic, and
I've never made a comment said, wow, this is so cringy.
Right. No, if you don't like it, you just move on from it. Absolutely. That's,
Try growing up when Josh and I did. We had like 19 channels to choose from. There wasn't, you could yell at your TV all you want. It's not talking back to you.
MTV all day. That's basically
I know. I put the Weather Channel on when I was doing homework. Wow, that's a lie.
Don't worry. I was on the back half of that. So I had
fair enough. You're an old 33. You're an old 33.
Yeah, for sure.
The number one thing all these celebrities I think have done for the hobby is, I'll point to Tom Brady as a perfect example. You can say what you want about him. You can say what you want about the card vault stores. But with Tom Brady owning hobby shops, it means that to him, trading cards are cool. And if it's out there in the universe that Tom Brady thinks sports cards are cool, that's going to prop up an industry because so many people think he is the epitome of cool, right? It's that sort of brand association they get. I have one more thing that I just looked up that I just kind of on the fly didn't have in my show notes, but this is mind blowing to me. So in the peak of the stay-at-home period in May of 2022.
Oh, why bring this up?
Well, no, I want that month there was 234 million in sales. There's 606 million last month.
Wow, that's a big stat.
They're almost 3 times the peak of the stay-at-home period.
That's a mic drop there for sure. I'm telling you, this is the trickle of a bunch of guys around our Troy's age to 10 years plus than us slowly coming back. They're like, wait a minute, I can $200 box to them isn't crazy. Right. They don't know the difference, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe Troy's right. They're forgetting. They're like, hey, these guys are a bunch of whiners and complainers. Let's get the new crop coming in.
Yeah.
Last thing, really quick in hobby news. There was a game used Jack Hughes jersey from Team USA's 6-3 preliminary win over Denmark in February's Olympic Games. The game was on February 14th. The jersey was auctioned by NHL Auctions in conjunction with Fanatics. Looks like Hughes did have 1 goal in the game. It was his first ever Olympic goal scored. You guys want to take a stab for what this sold for?
$9,000.
I am going to say, man, you got me second guessing now that you said 9,000.
I said $100,000 last jersey and it sold for like 8. So I'm trying something different on this one.
Was that the Gretzky one we talked about?
Yeah, it was a Gretzky one.
Let's go.
Troy, this doesn't matter. Just pick a number from 1 to 100.
Well, we're
No,
waiting.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go 12,000.
Okay.
28,275.
You know what? And I was gonna say 25. Damn it.
Times 3. Always go with your first instinct, man. Are you a jersey guy, Troy? Is this something that you would love to have on your wall?
So, I think it's a great piece. You know, but I like jerseys, but at the same time, I find them hard to display. Meaning,
wear in public.
Well, yeah, no,
you can't do that. You can't. That's woman repellent. I don't care what. I don't care if you have the Wayne Gretzky greatest goal of. I don't pick any one of them. Doesn't matter. You're not getting laid. Like you're not.
I've aged out in wearing a jersey in public. I don't think I can pull it off anymore. I'm too old.
I think I'm on the cusp. Like I'll still wear like my Jeremy Roenick Kachina Arizona Coyotes jersey out in public. I'm on the.
You're a Buffalo fan.
I'm on the bubble. Don't start. Yeah. Do not.
Yeah, no. Football jerseys are cool. Basketball jerseys are cool. Baseball jerseys are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hockey jerseys are definitely, the wizard sleeve is not cool.
New product releases brought to you by Gongshow friend and partner GP Sport Cards and Total Sport Cards. Grant is back in town now after the Edmonton Expo. We'll be breaking live on GP Sports Cards YouTube channel Wednesday night, so pick up your spots at gpsportcards.com. Whether you're looking to buy singles, get the latest hobby releases, or sell Grant all your cards for some cash money, he's happy to help out. Total Sports Cards is the name of their hobby shop in Etobicoke, basically in Toronto. Call him, message him on Instagram, or check him online totalsportcards.com. We're still in this new release. What?
I get confused sometimes because Riley, who is Laffer Sports Cards on Instagram, he works for Grant. So every time I see Riley put a post saying, "Come to my booth, I'm buying all your cards," I'm like, "Oh, Grant's got such a good operation." I'm like, "Wait a minute, they're not the same." So I wonder if they have like a little thing there.
Grant inner workings of that deal.
Well, I'm gonna go see Riley and see what he offers me. I'm gonna go see Grant. I'll be like, "Well, Riley offered me more." Put them against each other.
Put them against, yeah.
So Troy, what's it like being a hockey breaker in this month-long drought of new releases in products?
A lot of pro stat there, bud. Score.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's so funny because that has been on my mind.
It's been kind of brutal.
It's been tough. It's been tough. I'm lucky that we have a healthy and growing and loyal community, and we have been able to go back and do some, stature from last year.
Some fun stuff, yeah.
Some fun stuff. And like I said, we break like 21, 22, 22, 23 stuff, but there are some days where I'm in the room and I'm like, damn, we need a new release. We need a new release.
Yeah. We got a week and a half left, and then we'll have the Flair Fleer Flare coming out, but it's
Ric
been
Flair?
in a twice a week podcast where we have a new product release segment. It's been a little rough over here. The struggle is real. So I've been scratching my mind, if that makes sense, to come up with any sort of relevant topic. And I actually think I landed on a good one that I did a whole bunch of research this past week, because one of the issues for collectors and hobby stores and breakers, we've got some insight into this from people, is that a lot of the core 24-25 products that where you have the Macklin Celebrini chases, so we're talking about the Young Guns chase in Series 2 or O-Pee-Chee Platinum or the Cup or SP Authentic, either they're sold out almost everywhere, or the boxes have gotten very, very expensive and almost kind of priced a lot of people out of the market. So if you want to chase Celebrini, I kind of try to figure out, well, are there some, at least what I think to be decent values left? And I did find 5 options for those. I'm going to count them down, and you guys will agree or disagree with me, but I ranked them from 5 to 1. And with each box kind of stated my case why. I also listed current pricing. So in Canada, for our sponsor, Total Sport Cards, in your honor, Troy, in the U.S., I listed the David Adams price to.
It's probably the most expensive.
Yeah. Oh, shots fired. And then on
You are
E-Pack,
trying to get me in trouble, Phil. You want me on
Oh,
this
they don't
show or
watch
not?
it.
Come on.
They don't watch this. Come on.
You'd be surprised, pal.
Really? Oh, weird.
Here we go.
They say, oh, we like your stuff on the Gong Show. I go, thanks. That's why I don't have to. They have trusted me to come on here now.
Nice.
Oh, okay. They probably get their kids to watch and say, if he says any of these words, you let Dad know, and then they'll.
There you go. There you go.
So here's my number 5. And again, there's no like stellar option, right? Because the cup is basically sold out, or $2,500 a tin now, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Number 5, you have 24-25 clear cut. A very high risk, high reward product. There's not a ton of clear cut left. That's probably, it seems to be slim pickings around, but there are some boxes and cases you can find. The case for it is it's an all auto product. So if you hit any Brini, it will be a big card regardless. The big Celebrini chases and clear cut are going to be the rookie auto and high gloss. The rookie outburst out of 25 is a really great. I think this one sold for like $10,000 or something like that. Crazy. You got the StarQuest Rookie Auto, StarQuest Gold, 2000 Retro SPX Excitement. There's the Canvas Rookie Signatures and the Crystalline Stars, red, blue, and gold. When you look at other hit chases besides breeding, there's of course tons of Veterans, Legends chases. These Outburst Autos probably at the top of that list. And box prices in the USA, David Adams about 110 US. In Canada, Grant Shop about 140 CAD. And this is not an E-Pack product, so you can't get it on E-Pack. But it's my number 5 option for chasing breeding. Number 4, I actually went with 24-25 SPX. Some decent cards in here. So in the base set, he's an extended rookie. So it was where they had veterans rookies, extended rookies. And some of the parallels are pretty cool. You get Radiance out of 100, Grand Finale out of 50, Silver Spectrum out of 25. Other cards is the rookie holograms out of 25. Those are really nice looking cards. Then there's some rookie autos. Now, again, these are sticker autos in SPX because it was an early release, but you have the blue out of 99, Silver Spectrum out of 10. As far as non-auto inserts, there's a HoloView FX. Phil, you were a big fan of the HoloView cards, I remember, when SPX came out. There's a blue out of 399, parallel, a red out of 25, and Bound for Glory is another one, blue out of 199, red out of 10. Other products to chase, again, you got like some nice Vets and Legends cards, like the Hollowed Hardware is a really cool one for the Legends or the Vets, and then All-Time HoloView on the Legend side. For box prices in the U.S., it's $150 at David Adams, $180 CAD at Total Sports, so a good price for Grant there. And E-Pack is $115 U.S. So again, we're seeing where some of these, the E-Pack, for the first time in almost forever on these 24-25 products, is if you want to sacrifice the physical joy of opening a box, you might find a little bit better deal today on E-Pack.
And
cue all the comments and about me. Now I'm going to get hate for letting that out of the bag again.
I was I was actually breaking quite a bit of the SPX for a little bit because same thing you were saying, Josh. I was like, hey, this is actually an affordable, relatively affordable chase at Celebrini. We got lucky enough that we pulled an out of 25, the red parallel of Celebrini's auto. And then during the Olympics, we did a break. I ended up clipping it for my Instagram. We pulled the 71 out of 99 blue auto of his.
Nice
so
jersey number.
Loaded boxes, casual
David Adams
Troy.
gets
That's
all
your
the
new
good
name now.
cards.
They get all the upper deck directly piles the hits in the boxes and sends them to Troy. I know it.
I walk myself into these things.
Yeah.
I walk myself into these things.
That's
But
right.
no, and I think too, right, is like obviously, the sticker auto argument, whatever. But I think I agree with you too that some of the other
argument. It's an argument. I don't think so. I think
It's still 100. Yeah.
Discussion. Sorry, the sticker.
The one-sided discussion of the sticker autos. Yes. I agree.
That being said, a sticker auto Brini out of 24 SPX still probably $1,000 card at this point. So.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, my number 3 option, my top 5 is 24-25 credentials. It's basically a rookie auto product. I mean, that's what it's known for. Autos are on card in this, which is a big bonus in my opinion. The key Brini chases are the rookie base parallels, and then there's tons of debut ticket access autos and parallels. That's my one knock on the product is there's not like a seismic gold or something like that. There's not a particular parallel that I think really differentiates itself that we just all know.
Insert idea. Gold credential. Huh?
Oh.
Gold
Talk to Billy.
credential.
Or like
You're
an
welcome.
outburst on the acetate stuff.
I gave the name. They can do the design, but yeah.
Other product chases on the insert side, you have Provisions inserts where you have different ones for vets and legends. Those are always cool. And then you have a number of vets and legends autos. I like some of not the debut ticket access, but some of the retro ticket access auto cards for veterans are really cool. Box prices in the USA, 160 US at David Adams, 165 Canadian. Another good price at Grand Shop Total Sport Cards. And this is not an E-Pack product either. But any comments on credentials?
I'm surprised you put this. I'm surprised you put Clear Cut 5th. Like you put
Really?
SPX in this over that. Well, I don't. The Outburst is.
No, I'm counting down from 5 to 1. So 1 being the best.
You're doing this thing again. So 5 is the number 1.
No, 5 is the worst.
No, 5
Yeah,
words.
I would have put Clear Cut ahead of Credentials and SPX. No.
Oh,
Great.
Here's my thing.
I didn't because it's so high risk, high reward. Like
Yeah.
I hit a Brini
I
auto,
gotcha.
but I've opened 40 boxes of Clear Cut before there
Yeah.
and never got more than a $5 card.
That's a lie. You hit a Brini.
I know I did. The last card I hit a Brini.
Just my opinion, Troy's opinion, not taking away the professional.
David
standard.
Adams' opinion. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Troy's opinion, Phil. No, Troy's opinion.
Pardon me, excuse me. We have an official statement from David Adams. We're going to go over to Troy LeCastro now, who's at the press conference, and let's listen into him live.
So, do you think I can just can I have a minute at the end of the show so I can just say my goodbyes so I'll never be on the show again?
Yeah.
I just say my goodbyes. No, I was just going to say, I just think, Clear Cut sometimes, I understand why they have to do it but I just think sometimes the floor is a little too
It's super low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's very high risk, high reward. I mean, you can
It
hit
is.
a big card and most likely not, but I still buy it. So what does that say about me? Okay. My number 2 product is 24-25 Metal Universe. You have the key Brini chases would be the PMGs, of course, where you have red, green, and gold. You got a bunch of really cool inserts, Blast Furnace, the Dark Matter. Have you guys looked up how much a Celebrini Dark Matter sells for? Oh my God. They're like $700 raw. And if it's a PSA 10, like $1,200-$1,300.
Wow.
And then
That's
you've got Dawning, which was kind of a cool insert. Gold Bullion, he's in. And of course, Skybox Premium Prospects. And then other chases beyond Celebrini, you got the gold, the Liquid Gold, which is my favorite card in the last year. And you got, of course, Vet PMGs and inserts. Box prices a little bit higher, moving up on Metal Universe. So in the USA, about $210 at David Adams. Canada is about $200 CAD even. and then E-Pack $129 US. Which any comments on Metal Universe before we move on to my number one?
I really enjoy the set more and more.
Yep.
It's growing on me a lot. I've never been a huge metal guy. I'm kind of a 2012, 13 PMG only snob, but
Yeah.
there's some beautiful beautiful cards every year that are coming out.
Yeah, not saying that every auto on the checklist is strong. It's never going to be, but I think this year having like you get an auto or a PMG helped.
It's not an auto set though.
No, it's not. It's not, but maybe like to casual people or like whatever that like at least you're getting an autograph. Obviously, the chase was always the PMGs and always will be the PMGs, but I mean, it's not like Celebrini doesn't sign in it too. You know what I mean? So
you just brought up a point that I've been thinking about for a while, which really stinks for me as a person that does like to open boxes, but I'm a pure insert and parallel guy. And I wish that Upper Deck would come out with a pure insert and parallel product. I know they have to put autos in. And so like the products that I love the most, they typically have sticker autos because they're kind of insert and parallel products like Fleer. And it's like, I would rather have like a Lure as another one. I don't want it. I mean, unless it's like an Ovechkin or McDavid that I know I could just flip for some cash. I don't want an auto in those products. I'm chasing the 16-bit or the really cool insert.
But that takes research. That takes research for the new user. They see an auto. I totally get it. It's one of those things. I hate it. I get it. If I bought Upper Deck, I might not even get rid of sticker autos because the argument to keep them is that strong. And I freaking hate to admit that.
to what you're saying, Josh, do you think you're gonna pick up and try to rip some Flair then? Because I feel like Flair 100%. Is the closest to
and
what
it's
you're
going to
saying.
hurt the product that there isn't an auto in every box, and that because I know that Upper Deck will get a lot of complaints from hobby shops that are like,
it's not even an auto. Not even an auto.
So and they're not wrong because I'm sure it's their customers. They're just responding to what their customers are asking for. So I'm not throwing shade at a hobby shop either. But okay, here's my number one. What I think is still a decent value is 24-25 extended series. For the opportunity and price, I think this is the best bet. So your Brini chases are the Young Guns Canvas, Young Guns Canvas Black and White, Young Guns Acetate, and then Dazzlers, which, was in extended too. You also have the Trilogy rookies, which I think are kind of underrated, and the inserts there. And then you have a whole slew of other product chases. You have the Will Smith Young Guns in parallels, Sebastian Kosa, Mitch Kopp Young Guns Canvas, Jacob Dobish Young Guns, Day with the Cup cards, Mitch Kopp and Will Smith Dazzlers, the Retro Outburst Young Guns, Malkin Marner, Eric Carlson, Dylan Larkin, Phil's favorite, and Quentin Byfield. You have the OV Young Guns buyback if any of them haven't been pulled yet out of 8. And it's still pretty reasonably priced, about $160 US a box. At David Adams, about 170 CAD at Grand Shop, TotalSportCards.com, and then on E-Pack about 140. So, what do you guys think of the 5 I chose and my ranking? Or is there any that I should have considered? Maybe Troy.
I don't think you had a. Didn't you just pick what you could?
No, there's some more options.
Oh, okay.
No,
like Fleer was a 24-25 Fleer is still on E-Pack.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think your list is reasonable. Yeah, I would have put Clear Cut a little higher, but I understand your argument for not. So
I see what you were doing with the pricing and like kind of like doing that. But personally, I probably would have flipped Creds and extended series.
Okay, so you think Credentials is the best bet right now? That's your.
I do. Can I be honest with you? The only gripe I really have with Credentials was too many announcer autos sometimes. I thought the announcer autos were a nice touch if you're just kind of a fan and you want something fun. You know, I love Jackie Redmond because she does NHL and she does WWE. I love Kevin Weeks. So I thought people love Detroit Red Wings fans obviously love Ken Daniels. So I thought that was a cool element. But I think sometimes when we were doing case breaks, we just probably had a few. Like if you were gonna get a announcer auto, I think maybe that could have been like a extra auto box or have them be like 1 or 2 a case. We had
Well, they're
cases,
not athletes. That's
right?
kind of yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I think credentials. I think the you look at it like a lot of people in football love contenders. That's the contenders
Yeah.
equivalent, and I think the debut ticket access, different parallels, different colors are cool. And like you were saying, the autos are on card there.
Do credentials breaks fill up?
Yeah, well, and that's why I do agree with your list. I agree with your list because there was a time where when some of those things were kind of getting sparse or scarce or kind of being priced higher, we were doing SPX breaks, we were doing creds breaks, and yeah, because you can, um, there's a decent amount of teams in those breaks that you can price lower and they get like scooped up real quick, and then the other teams kind of go, but yeah, they fill.
Do you feel that there's certain 24, 25 products that are pricing a lot of people out? And I'm not talking about just exclusively from breaks, but from buying boxes where you're kind of at this push pull where there's so much demand, there's so much excitement. Some of these cards in these boxes are huge, right? You can
Yeah.
hit $100,000 Brini card in the cup. And so I'm not even saying that the price might not be justified, but do you have to think about that more with the Celebrini chase and like what's going to be affordable to more of your community and customers?
I always advocate for research. I always advocate for research, whether it's looking at what public sales of what Macklin Celebrini cards there have been or like what's on the checklist. Because yeah, I mean, some of the premier high-end products in hockey, I know a lot of the Celebrinis have been pulled and have publicly surfaced. So maybe
Yeah.
it's an idea of like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and let's see what products maybe, hey, they haven't publicly surfaced. So maybe one of the bigger hits, one of the bigger chases is still left in there.
Gotcha. All right. Well, if anyone has any other options or products that they think are good values, would love to hear from you in the comments with those. I made it, Phil. My voice is faltering. You ready for mailbag, buddy?
I'm ready. Let Daddy take over and you relax a little bit. Okay. Gongshow Mailbag. Here we go. Discord cards. Who is on our Series 1 Young Guns watch so far for big name end of season call-ups? I know we have Frondell, Yakimchuk, Reinbacher just got called up from Montreal. Any other big names on the list? Yakimchuk all the way for me. I'm a Sens fan. Pretty impressed with the young man. Louis, what do you think?
I would have said Charlie Strammel, but broke his ankle, foot.
Not
whatever.
eligible. Yeah.
Okay. Josh?
I think the guy, Troy, you mentioned earlier in the show, Cole Hudson, could be a pretty big Series 1 chase at this point.
Yeah, Cole Hudson for sure. And then I would say maybe just because he was a high draft pick in the Schaefer draft, possibly Porter Martone with the Flyers.
Yep, another good. Mm-hmm. Oh, you just made our guy Neil happy. He probably passed out.
Shout out Neil. Shout out Neil.
Pretzel boy. Okay, next question.
Pretzel boy.
Crazy WPG cards. Hey, boys. Absolutely love your show. Since I've been watching and involved with your show, Mondays are now my favorite day of the week. My question, how come in O-Pee-Chee Platinum 23-24, my favorite year, the rainbow color wheel isn't on the checklist? Well, we have a checklist boy, and he will answer.
So are you saying that if like Marvel did a movie about us, that I would be a sidekick and I'd be checklist boy? Is that
Yes. You're Meg with the long fingernails.
Yeah.
Great. I think Upper Deck is hit or miss in putting EPAC exclusive and achievement cards on their checklist. And so they probably just didn't do it. That they switch coordinators and around from products in years. And so there's probably just not continuity there.
Good answer. Next question. It's freaking Polly. Thanks for the short question, Polly. Dearest leaders of the show of Gong, if you had a crystal, not crystal meth, come on, man. It's not a methamphetamine show here. Ball, and you looked at the future hobby in 10, 15 years. What are the chances you think that grading is not as big of a card value multiplier as it is now? I know a lot of times when we see a PSA 10, we tend to see prices go for 2 to 3 times a raw card price. I almost wonder if we as the hobby started lowering that multiplier as consumers, would grading volume actually start slowing up and maybe bring back more actual demand for graded cards and not just have them as flippers' method of income. Just wondering your thoughts. Oh, and cue the Chelsea Dagger music. Great music video, the Fratellis. Fantastic video.
Yeah.
Go check it out if you haven't seen it. And that's pretty much my answer there.
Mm-hmm.
Louis, you want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I went on a little tangent here. So I said my tiny head thinks there's a 70-80% chance that PSA 10 premium is smaller in that time frame you're talking. I think there's plenty of PSA 10s now and more coming off the line with all the amount of subs that have gone in. I think we're in an era of better print quality and people are getting a lot better at checking the cards. So that multiplier, I don't think is going to hold up. I think grading will get more standardized and there'll be a way that we can eventually, hopefully, really determine a true 10 versus a borderline one.
Josh, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a different route on this one where I wonder if there will be, I feel like there has to be innovation coming in grading.
Mm-hmm.
And that maybe in the next 10, 15 years that some grading company, maybe it's PSA, maybe it's an upstart tag, whoever, will really dial it in and have a gem mint grade that universally the hobby has confidence in. And in that case, I think the multiplier could actually go up.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Two different schools of thoughts. Take your pick, good listener. Troy, you got no say. Me neither. Next question. Dunks. This is probably a question for Josh, but why is it that sports cards have sharp corners, whereas other collectible cards have rounded corners? They do? Is it because other collectible cards are technically a trading card game and meant to be played? Oh, like Trivial Pursuit? Is that what you mean?
No, it's Pokemon around in corners.
Oh, well, okay. Or are we just writing the history of the original production of sports cards? Thanks, fellas, and happy Easter. I don't know. Louis?
I said sharp corners on cards is the hobby's way of stressing us out. Game cards have rounded corners because people actually touch them. We don't. We panic around them. Looking at one of our cards wrong, and that 10 grade is gone.
I don't know if that's the answer Dunks was looking for, but that's the answer Dunks gets.
He
Troy, do you have
said
something to add?
that's why they have sharp corners.
Why are you putting your hands up?
He was drinking.
Oh, no, I had it. Yeah, sorry.
Well, I saw my peripheral. You threw me off. I thought you had to say something. Okay, next question.
Sorry.
That's okay. Mad Dog Nav 78. Oh, nice and short one here. Oh, I like this one. Yeah. Okay, this one's good. What card in your collection best represents your personality and why? I'll go first.
Thank you.
I thought.
You want me to read it for you?
Oh, there we go. Okay, so
Oh.
that card represents me, and I'm going to explain why. What you are looking at is a 2018-19 Brady Tkachuk Young Guns canvas card. And this card, I feel, has, and more now than ever, exemplifies me. I'm not sure. When I look at this card, I see a kid in an outdoor rink who just scored. Pure joy. Nothing else mattered in Brady's moment right here. He worked for it. He earned it. And he's sharing this moment in time with his teammates. Look at this card. Nothing but passion. Like he's a kid on the ice, man, and he's having a blast. This card means more to me now because Brady's kind of just getting the crap kicked out of him. Whether you feel he should or he shouldn't, he is. And I hope Brady can stay resilient. I hope he can stay strong. I want him to be my captain. I think he's probably gone, but this card definitely exemplifies me because this shows living in the moment. This shows living outside of your head. This shows discipline and hard work. The pursuit of excellence is a good thing. And this moment shows that. And so does this picture. And I love this card. And this is one of the cards that made me kind of go all in on Brady when it came out. So that's for me, the big one. Anyone else?
What?
I kept it light. Light. Josh, yourself?
My favorite card is my 2016 Gretzky Glow Peachy, and I just like weird stuff. Like I like Phil and Louis. They're weird.
Let's be honest. The card glows in the dark, and you're afraid of the dark. So that card is your flashlight for camping.
Touche.
Mm-hmm.
Troy or Louis? Anyone?
You got one, Troy?
Yeah, actually, I
Ilya Kovalchuk.
thank you to you. Yeah, right. I wish. Thank you to you two for those responses. So it gave me time to think. Just recently, somebody gave me the Topps Dave Thomas from Wendy's goalie card, and one, it's old school. Two, it's random, kind of like me. And then I love the old school feel to it, and yeah, I enjoy a frosty or a sandwich from there every once in a while.
I have a Dave Thomas story.
Go for
I
it.
really do. So in college, I was the caddy master at Hazeltine National Golf Club here in Chaska, where that's like where the PGA champ Payne Stewart won the U.S. Open PGA Championship there. And Hazeltine as a golf club is, as opposed to a country club, they, not trying to be hoity-toity and keep member costs down, they would typically on Mondays have a corporate golf event. And every year we would host the Wendy's event.
Hell yeah.
And this is during the time. And so Dave Thomas would show up when he was alive and when he was still on TV doing all the Wendy's commercials.
Yeah.
You couldn't believe how much older he was in person than I don't know what Hollywood magic they did to the guy to get him to look. He basically looked like Smithers from The Simpsons in real life. He was like
Sector
tiny, hunched over, like super hunched over. And I just saw your hat, Louis. But yeah, I it was shocking to me the first time I saw Dave Thomas in person.
R.I.P. to a legend. Thanks for the legacy you left behind, Dave.
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
Thanks for the frosties.
Louis, do you have a card that exemplifies your personality?
I don't know. No. I went with that Ultimate Shield Heisher I just got. I'm not normal for me. I'm not normal, but sometimes getting out of my comfort zone is good. When I see something, if I cannot, like Josh said, if I cannot buy 20 cards a month and just save up money and get one good card, I'm learning.
What does that have to do with your personality?
I don't know. My personality is.
Oh, he obviously doesn't have a personality. That's why he can't.
Yeah. What hockey card makes you feel like you? Okay, let's move on. Next question.
Yeah, let's move on. I don't know.
The real
Sorry.
Jay Kisso. That's great. I have what may be a dumb question. No, my man, you're good. And I hope I don't get blasted in the replies. Well, that we cannot stop. The comments are the comments. Newer to collecting and glad I found yous. Thank you. My question is, why does Allure seem to not have value? The cards look great and parallels better than Flagship, in my opinion. Well, first off and foremost, this is a very late. There's levels to this game, brother. So don't just be patient a little bit. But welcome to the hobby. It's a super silly community, and things just don't make sense sometimes. And I'll give you some other examples. Why did VHS beat out Betamax? Beta was better quality. I know you could record more on VHS, but in general, Beta was better. Why did Blu-ray beat HD DVD? Remember Sega Dreamcast? That was the best machine out there. It could not stick around for very long, and it was light years ahead.
Do you still have one, Phil? Or did you have one?
I do. I did not. My neighbor did. Yeah, my neighbor did. But I also wasn't very good at video games, so I didn't play too much. But I don't know, man. Our hobby's a beautiful, funny, quirky place. That's my best answer. Troy, do you have anything you?
Yeah, I would say sometimes it's word of mouth in terms of like maybe you unfortunately hear someone talking poorly of a set, and then you immediately have this pre-notion that, oh, well, so and so or these people told me, it's not that great. When maybe it's a thing where if it's within your means, grab a box yourself and make your own opinion and see if you can change some minds on that.
Louis?
I said that I love the question and agree, and I know most of us do, that Allure is a good-looking product. Right now, though, I think the hobby's in this different place and placing value way higher than looks. It's about demand and where the collectors are placing that importance. And Allure isn't it because they just don't have that Chase rookie product. I love
Josh,
it.
any thoughts?
I would just add to this that sometimes newer products take time to build a following. Allure debuted in 2019. And I wouldn't say the first 2 years were that great. I think it really hit its stride starting in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back, another good reference point is O-Pee-Chee Platinum, where somebody like Phil was very active in 2014, 2015. Everyone hated the product then. And now here we are 12 years later and some of the more valuable cards in the hobby.
All right. Hope that helped there, Cisco. Jay Cisso. Instagram, Max Collectibles Cards Plus. Hey boys, do you think the market is becoming too diluted with all these parallels coming out? For example, Upper Deck now has the Easter holiday parallels and all the other parallels, especially rookies. The true rookie, in my opinion, is the Young Guns and Flagship. Thoughts? Keep up the great work, guys. Find your card collecting nucleus and just orbit around that. That's I agree. There's a lot. Yeah. Stick to your gun, stick to it, what you like. Let other people buy cards, hold them. You see if you like it, and then give it back to them and go buy it if it feels good. But keep it simple. Don't get overwhelmed. Josh, what do you think?
If you're buying a card for any other reason than you just like it and want to have it, I think it's just as important today as to pick the right card as well as the right player.
All right. Pretty simple stuff. All right. Next question. Trunk Slam Chest. I had an idea for how PSA could improve grading consistency. Why not have 3 graders grading a card instead of just 1? They could have 3 people grade a card and one after the other in separate rooms and keep them blind to what the other grades gave it. They could then average the grades from all 3 graders and round to the nearest grade. Example, 3 graders give a card an 8, a 10, and a 10 respectively. 8 plus 10 is 28. 23 divided by 3 is 9.33. So the card gets a 9.5. You could expand that to 5 graders per card, and even if you want more consistency. This could stop getting cards lower grades because a grader was in a bad mood that day, and reduce submissions when cards start coming back with the same grade. It would also boost the credibility of the grade, since a card's grade would be a consensus of 5 different graders, not the opinion of one. Does it increase workload for graders? Yes. But other than that, it seems like a great idea to me. What do you guys think? I'll go first. Dude, great idea. I think this is awesome. You're missing a massive thing here. They're all about making money and as fast as possible. They're not about giving you an accurate grade, dude. Come on, man. Like, if the business was that, you don't think they would have thought of this 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Of course. They were probably doing this at the beginning, but they're not that company now. They're a different company. They're a how fast can we hold a card, grade it, and pump it out as fast as possible. I'm not being a jerk. I'm just being very, very honest and transparent that I think grading is.
But maybe that's what the hobby wants, Phil, though. Maybe the hobby wants the cheapest grade as fast as possible.
The cheapest grades as fast as possible. That's the answer, Trunk Slam Chest. I guarantee you, just like politicians, they start out well, but by the end, you can't get what you want if you don't cave on something else. As fast as possible, and that's what the hobby wants. That's what PSA is doing. It's not about accurate grading. Come on, don't be silly.
Can I add a little bit of thing to this? Because I agree with this premise, right? I think it would be great. But what it would come down to me is that not only are you tripling the amount of human resources you would need, you're also probably 4xing the cost on it because you're changing the logistics. Now the card has to go to 4 or 5 more places.
Yeah, you're losing money. You're not in the business of losing money.
But here's the thing is like, to get this, would Trunk or anyone else, would you pay 4 times, 5 times the amount to grade a card to get that level of service? And that's the answer to the question, is that if the hobby was willing to do that, because at the end of the day, PSA is going to do what the market asks them to do to make money.
Way better answer. Louis, anything to add there?
Yep. I thought this was an interesting concept, and I like the intent of improving consistency, but I don't think more graders fixes the issue. I'd say it would just multiply the same subjectivity to it. Or I could say it like averaging subjective grades doesn't really create objectivity. It just averages opinions.
Anything new to add, Troy, or should we go to the next question?
No, I think I agree with Josh in terms of maybe that becomes a thing where if you really, really want that, maybe you pay for that level of service. But
Yeah.
besides that, I think you all had great things to say, and anything I would do would just kind of reiterate what you're saying.
All right, no more talking. Here we go. Everybody, there we go. Top shelf cookie sniper. With the Toronto Expo close, can you talk about bringing cards across the border? What advice can you give to people who either fly or drive as far as tips when it comes to traveling with cards? Troy, you have I think you might be the best person to ask because you're so close to the border.
Right.
Well, I feel like if I give an answer here, I might be giving myself up, and the border might figure out what I'm doing when I'm coming over.
You know, I think the answer, Troy, is that if you, and listen closely, people, if you bring cards that are your personal cards that you just want to bring to the expo to show your friends, then there's no problem.
Yeah, and you could say that. Like, I mean, I've definitely told them before, like, yeah, I'm going to a card show and I'm going to hang out with some friends and all that. And, you know, always your intention to sell, or are you setting up or anything like that? And I'm being honest. I'm like, no, I'm not setting up. You know, I'm like, maybe do some trades or something. And, you know, and they let me over.
All right.
Or obviously, I was just going to say in my case too, I tell them I'm going there and I tell them I'm going to do content for, you know, YouTube and Instagram, which is not, you know, I'm not lying. I really am. I go over there and I do content. So
yeah, there you go.
When it comes to stuff like this, sorry, Louis, I think that the less words that come out of your mouth, the better. That it's when people over talk is when because that demonstrates that you're nervous about something, number one, and you're just giving fodder to ask for them to ask follow-up questions. It's you know, and it's everyone up to whatever you believe on integrity or whatever you want to do. It's a personal choice how you handle it, but that's my advice: is just to clearly state your intention and leave it at that.
And I always hammer home research, so I think you can also, you know, just take a look at, hey, how much can I go over without being knocked or anything like that, and just, you know, make sure
you get away with is that what?
Yeah.
And I know we're beating up on the driving across the border. I really don't. I've never had any issues with the flying part, but the biggest thing from what I've experienced with Josh crossing this border, I don't know how many times now, when you're asked what you're bringing, it'll be different for Josh and I, but generalizing for Jay asking the question, when asked what you're bringing, you know, you're just bringing personal stuff. And the main thing is to say, and it's all coming back with me. Then you just stop. And then if they decide, which they're gonna, ask you what you got, just tell them what you got and be honest, you know, but it's all coming back with you.
Why don't they take, if they care that much, why don't they take a list, put it on your file? When you come back, it pulls up and they double check.
I would love to see them do that with us. So when we first came over for the first RIP party, we had a minivan with all the seats down, full. Like you couldn't fit a Kleenex in the back. And so they like, oh, we need to check this out. We go over, a bunch of like border agents come up and they're like, can you open the doors? We open the side doors in the back. They take a look, they look at each other and they're like, I don't want to deal with this. Go.
Yeah.
Because we have so much equipment.
Yeah. The biggest thing is they don't want you leaving stuff there. You need to just make sure, you know, you say it's personal stuff. Everything's coming back with me.
All right, there you go, Jay. Some good answers there. Next question, Stutzel 18. Hey, fellas, I have an EX 2000 question for Josh. Both gold double Helix Ovechkin cards on eBay have a noticeable print like running vertically on the left side through the D. Is this normal for the gold Ovi? I can't find any other examples, even Ovi's red Helix of the other issue than both gold Ovi cards. Thanks. Go ahead, Josh.
I don't know exactly in the case of Ovechkin, but where there's cards that have like chromium or refracting type finishes, I know print lines are very common. And the worst part about it is sometimes like you can't see them if you're buying a card online, like on eBay, and then you get it home, and then you of course immediately notice that big print line. And so I would say if you've noticed it on a few cards, before you buy one, reach out and ask the seller if it has a print line, and if they say no and it does, then you're eligible to return it if you get it and it does.
Hope that helps, Stutzel. All right,
Yeah.
next question. WSB cards. This is Ryan.
Mhm.
This is Ryan, isn't it? Trickery. Maybe we should skip it.
We kinda
So with
did.
the new Allure Gold insert, this is your home. Can we finally make Fanimations great again? Of course. I have
Do you know what
no
he's
idea
driving at here? I think they put the player's cityscape behind the background in that golf
I
insert.
can't read between the lines. I don't know that stuff. But that's a good point Ryan's making, though.
Yeah.
I mean, his behavior is not correct, but his point is.
maybe something's changed.
Ryan,
You and Ryan are gonna have a duke it out, man.
No, I love Ryan. He's good. I had him on my show. You don't have him on your show. Thank you. Instagram, com_av_cards. Pasternak has had a very few on-card autos out there. Are there any other notable players like that? I thought of Sundin and Alfredson. Josh, you got some.
Isn't Ken Dryden sort of the most notable? Like he has very, very few signed hockey cards. I also added Fedorov, Bure. A lot of Russians tend to be a little prickly when it comes to signing autographs. Louis or Troy, you guys got anyone?
You covered
Somebody
mine.
actually brought this up to me the other day. We were talking about it. Willie Nylander for a more for a more notable current player.
Really? How come?
And you know what? You know who I think of? Datsuk doesn't have a ton. Well, like you said, the Russian Datsuk doesn't have a ton, does he?
No,
he has a few, but I think he did like a color coded for the cup a few years ago, and he does
Okay.
have some limited logos, but not a ton.
memorabilia. We should be getting more Bobby Orr stuff soon, right? Because he's giving
Yeah.
the okay on that. That'll be pretty cool.
Good point.
All right, next question. Good question, Com. Chris Beach, random question. Can you guys put the video from each episode on Spotify? I noticed other Spotify podcasts do this, and it's awesome. I know you have it on YouTube, but it would be nice to see it on Spotify, as it's my go-to place for all my podcasts. I actually didn't know that wasn't happening. I love the show and have been listening since episode 100 when I discovered it, and haven't missed one episode. That's awesome, man. Very flattering, and thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why, so I'll refer you to the captain.
Louis will have a little bit of context here too, but we use a distribution service that distributes our podcast to not just Apple and Spotify, but all the million different podcast apps out there. And I don't know if it's our distribution company or Spotify does not yet allow third-party distribution companies to upload video podcasts. You have to upload it to Spotify directly.
Yep.
And we would have to do a lot of figuring out to make that happen, but I would love to make that happen.
Yeah,
Really?
I looked into it because it was asked back on March 23rd in our mailbag there, and what I found out was it needs to be uploaded through Spotify for creators. So that's something the captain and I got to figure out if that third party will let us do it through them or if we have to go through another channel.
All right. Next question. Instagram. My latex salesman. It's nice to see you
Love
back,
it.
man. Because I know it's great, eh? 2 weeks ago on Friday Nights with Phil, we were all treated to a hard-hitting analysis and investigation of Meatball Gate in the Ottawa area. Just curious if Phil has made any progress on his investigation of the missing meatballs. They're not missing, they're just omitted. All right, don't get me going, man. Are other Farm Boy locations also skimping out on the meatballs? Yes, that's the whole point. I told you. Is Phil looking for a new meatball provider, or is he considering giving meatballs up for good? Okay, listen, man. I live in a more of a hoity, not by choice, but a hoity-toitier part of Ottawa, and they put the least amount of meatballs and charge the most. When I go to the East End, the only reason I know this because I did an estimate for a co-op community housing, and I went to the Farm Boy over there, and there was 6 meatballs in the package. So I brought it up. I brought it up with the guy, the supervisor, the district supervisor, and he admitted it. He goes, "Yeah, I know it's not right, is it? But that's how they do it." So there's no. So what's the point of if I still keep yelling and screaming that I'm not getting 6 meatballs in my area? I'm only getting 4. There's no point. There's no point at all. So either I buy them or I don't buy them. I have chosen to keep buying them and not complain until you ask me these questions.
God.
That's fine. I don't care. That you listen. Everyone else is yelling about things they can't change. I'm yelling about things I can't change, but at my local produce.
I can't believe how much of this show we have now dedicated to Phil's meatball crisis. 2026, never forget.
Right. I'm a big eater.
I'll bring you meatballs, Phil.
Thank you. Well, I'm picky. I'm very picky eater. Okay, but thank you, Louis.
Yeah,
Instagram, Puck8815. I bet you that's his PIN number. I love the pod and the combination of vintage and modern details. When you covered the early Hall of Famers cards referencing sets like Patterson V145, who and why is it named like this? Why a V145 or an O-Pee-Chee V304? Also, for the Minnesota boys, a cottage is a relaxing place in the countryside to relax and enjoy. A cabin is where you hide and make letter bombs to send to your enemies. Thanks. Yeah, what Puck said. I love it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm gonna go to my cottage that I haven't bought yet. Yeah, and relax.
Go ahead, Josh, and then I'll close this one out.
There's a guy named Jefferson Burdick.
What
came up with this? Oh, what Phil?
I don't know. I didn't. I thought it was nothing. I didn't hear anything.
Oh,
I was gonna say, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Sorry,
we're good.
We did. Okay. A guy named Jefferson Burdick came up with this system, and in hockey, C equals Canadian Dart Companies from back in the day. V is other Canadian issued cards that were non-Dart companies.
Why can't you say that word?
You can't on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't say that? You have to.
I don't think so. Dude. You get flagged, and then it's like
what? So okay, hold on. If you get flagged, what happens, Josh? We get less views because that word was said.
At what and then point there's other issues with it too. There's other issues with it too. No, I mean,
you said, are we talking about the same dart? We're talking about dart,
like darts, yeah,
like hacking dart, like heaters,
hack darts,
heaters. Oh yeah, buddy,
heaters.
Yeah, it's the same reason why you can't say why you have to say stay at home period.
Yeah, I just it piles on. It just piles and piles and.
Right. Well, okay, I
don't have a solution.
We just go.
I just found out.
Go for it.
Yeah. Give me a few seconds. It's okay. I don't want to upset anyone.
Okay, so and then the number has to do with the number the set. So like C55 is the 55th Canadian Dart set. C56 is the 56th Canadian Dart set.
That's amazing. That is that's incredible.
I find it annoying though. Like there could have been maybe a more consumer friendly way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Josh, you nailed it. But I'll take on the second part of that. To us Minnesota boys, Puck 8815, a cottage sounds like a place where you sit between your throw pillows in your sweater vest, reading a book and having a coffee. A cabin is spotty cell service, fixing something that broke the second you got there, chopping wood, surviving your dumb daily choices, having bonfires and having the smoke go wherever you sit, swatting mosquitoes the size of birds, and earning that beer. That, Puck, is why we would never call it a cottage and why the Canadians probably had to soften the name a little bit. I rest my case.
Nah, your case never started. Puck is right. You're all wrong.
Cottages are for Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
Anyways, next question.
Porridge.
Does you know what? Josh is the only one that actually owns something that we could call a cottage or a cabin, so I guess it's up to him.
Okay, I will remember not to invite you to ours.
Well, I thought
you
had something different. No? Okay. Well, either way. So I guess Louis and Josh can man, I can't handle the level of. Okay, here we go. Next question. Kevin B. Smith.
Trying to talk smack and just puts his foot in his mouth.
I don't want to hurt people. Kevin B. Smith. Hello, everyone. Hello.
He's calling me soft.
Hello, everyone. Phil, I'm just curious as to how far along you got with your 22-23 Parker's Champions Master set. What's missing? Will you return it someday in hopes of completing it? I am a big fan of that product as well. Thanks for all the hours of entertainment. Excellent question, Kevin Smith. That project is ongoing. It's at my kitchen table, and it has been for 2+ years now. All the rainbows are finished. The color variants are finished. The golds are almost finished. And this is the part where I have to eat dirt. And you can laugh at me. I thought I lost about 100, 150 Parker's Champions cards, so I was very discouraged about a year ago. Then a couple of weeks ago, I went to order my ComC cards, and it said, you have almost 200 cards to mail. I was like, no, I don't. I have 17. What are you talking about? I never marked them ready to ship. So all the cards I thought I lost are still sitting at ComC.
Oh,
yeah, I know. It's a hit. So I still didn't order them because the expo's coming up, and I wanted my Sidney Crosby's to come. So yes, anyways, it's an ongoing night. It's not a nightmare. It's a project. I'm never doing it again though. Modern sets are not meant to be collected like this. And it was very advantageous. I will finish it, but Parker's Champions will only be the legends moving forward. I think Josh does that. I think Louis does that. I think I'll only be doing that moving forward. So thank you for asking about my Parkers.
You picked a good set though to do this.
I did. Thank you, Louis. I did. Instagram. Okay, Mama 2021. Boys, you have had a Gongshow mailbag on Monday since the dawn of time. But what about Thursday? Thursday never gets a recurring segment. But boys, don't fret. I have a solution. Oh, lots of solutions today. Just like you put out a mailbag question post, you could put out a hockey card hot takes post, and you could comment, agree, and disagree with people's hot takes relating to our beloved hobby of collecting sweaty men on tiny pieces of cardboard. This would make a great addition of the Thursday show. I kind of like it. That's not bad. Louis, Josh, thoughts?
Let's try it. Leave some hot takes in the comments. If people want this to be a recurring thing, let's see how many people do it. And we'll maybe address them on Thursday if we get enough of them.
Sure. I said
Louis,
no.
good idea, bad idea?
I said no, but my tone is supportive.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but we'll go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Cujo Cardboard. Next question. Third last. Boys. Oh, no. Wrong one. What does the Gong Show think about cards that have been autographed in person or at an event? Have you ever personally got a card signed by a player? Personally, I think they never look quite as nice because the card wasn't designed for it. I don't know. It's a forever confusing question for me. I have no problems asking Marcel Dion to sign anything. I would never run up to Brady Tkachuk or Matthew Schaefer and ask them to sign. It's different. So it's athlete specific, and I think it depends on my age and environment. Josh, anything? Troy, think of an answer because you should answer this at the end.
yeah.
I like it in very certain circumstances. It has to be the right card, a card where an auto would fit well on it, and you have to have the right marker or paint pen too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just have to think about it.
But you got to ask your friend to help out.
Yeah, Neil. You got to have a Neil, an expo mom who's
Yeah,
an
everyone
expert.
needs to kneel in that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had an in-person auto card when I was younger. I lost it. But I'm like Phil, though. I'll go back and forth on this, too. I don't know. If I'm finding a card that I'm going to have somebody sign, like if I'm at the expo, probably kind of cool. Doesn't bother me because it's just for me. But I don't know. I don't know that I'd buy one. If I know that's not the question, but I'm not an IPO, like eBay chaser, if you will.
Troy?
Yep, I think it's a case by case basis. I think it goes back to the age old collect what you like. So yeah, I mean, I don't think you should ever get an in-person auto thinking that you're gonna like flip it or something or make money off of it. I think it's fine if you just want to have it for yourself and put it in a mag or whatever you want to do, authenticate it. And
Have you ever asked for an autograph?
I mean, not a card. I've never had a card autograph, but I mean,
Okay.
I'm a big, besides hockey and baseball, huge professional wrestling fan. So yeah, I've gone to many of professional wrestling shows where the wrestlers have merch tables where you can just walk right up to them and, pay whatever.
Hulk
and
Hogan! I tell you, Hulk Hogan!
You
I
know,
wanna be the Greek-
brony, break your back, make you humble. Cheeky baby.
Jabroni.
cheeky, baby.
I want to
So,
do
yeah.
I want to do a Greek chic, that which would be funny for like hockey card collector. Like he's Captain Conundrum's heel, the Greek
Yes.
chic.
The bad guy. I love that for you. Yes, you
Wait,
absolutely.
not
It adds
Okay.
to your acting chops and your character depth.
Oh, it'd be fun. Thanks, man.
Mm,
All right. Well, you could be Macho Man. Yeah, don't forget.
Yeah. Well, you see, you want an in-person autograph? Why not go up and ask? Yep. I see Brady
you go.
Kachuk. Give me a little auto.
Next question, last question, best question.
Not last.
No, two more left.
Oh, two more. Oh, Josh slipped one in there. Krabby's Cards. Austin Matthews is exactly 500 goals behind Ovi. That means he would need 10 50-goal seasons or 12 and a half seasons of 40 goals. There's no way, right? Is there any active player you could see challenging the goal record? P.S. AM34 and Ovi share a birthday. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh, how cute.
2 years ago, I was nervous. I would never admit that 2 years ago, but yes, I was nervous. I'm like, oh my God, he better not. Today, not so much. I think Austin should go find his team. Go spread your wings, young man.
Mm-hmm.
But there ain't no record being broken. Josh?
Yeah, I think more so the injury issues at this point. For him to stay supremely healthy for 10 to 12 straight years seems like a little bit of a stretch, unfortunately.
Do you think he'll shave his head in 12 years? Do you think in 12 years we have a bald Austin? Or
No, he'll
he's
go to
still-
Turkey and get more hair.
He's going to go to Turkey and get it filled
All right,
in.
next, last question. CT Hockey 913. Is
Perfect
Turkey like Turkey's the hair play? Like Mexico's for the
Yeah.
boobs, right? Mexico, all the Canadian
I don't
girls go
know.
to the forget their boobs in Mexico. And then I guess the hair is Turkey.
Mm.
Is there height? Can I get height anywhere? Okay, here we go.
In your
Last question.
dreams.
Yeah. No, I feel I'm a very tall 5'9". CT Hockey 913. I think you guys should put together a Gretzky insert refractor card hierarchy like the Cajun cardboard guy put together the Jordan card hierarchy. I bet having that hierarchy put together and getting it out there, which I know your show would be a great thing for the hockey card hobby. Like I want a hockey card Hall of Fame. I agree, man. Another way for you to grow the hobby, I know it would be a lot of work, but you know a ton of experts who could consult on it. And then you could put together a series of YouTube videos that would be watched over and over and over again for years and years. I think I added an over there, sorry. You can even put together a poster of the hierarchy and sell it like Cajun Cardboard does for the Jordan one. Is this Cajun Cardboard that's writing this? Is that
No.
CT? No. Oh, okay. Lots of work, but it would be worth the investment, I bet. I think so too, yeah. Then if that goes well, you move to Lemieux or Howe or any other legend. Ongoing projects and income streams. I think Louis and I agree that this is a Josh job.
Mhm.
Yes. Get to it, checklist boy.
No, it's a great idea, and I thank you for that. Sounds like a good summer/off-season project. And I do own the domain Gretzky.cards, so I never had something to use for it. So maybe this would be a good use for that.
Who owns Gretzky.com? That'd be better.
Probably Wayne, I would guess.
Probably, I don't know. I bought ShanePinto.com. You all made fun of me. Who buys that? I don't know.
What? You think that you're ready to clap back on that one now?
Yeah, because it expired, so I don't own it anymore. Yeah, I almost renewed it for $2.
That must have been tough to let go. You cry about it, but okay.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Good job, Phil. Personal pickups, Phil.
Yeah, let's go. Woo! Got some goodies. Thank you, Louis. What you got here is a 2013-14 Upper Deck 25th anniversary promo Wayne Gretzky. I don't know really where you would have gotten this card. I don't know much about it, but anything that looks like a 90s Upper Deck card to me and it's got Wayne on it, I'm a fan. So
I've never seen this card before.
Yeah, most haven't. I think people will like it. Yeah, I don't know how much it is. I think it's like $20 or something.
What's the best part is the Titan.
Yeah,
God,
yeah, it's good. A lot of good parts there. Got a little flow in the hair in there. Yeah.
Flow.
Okay. Yeah. 26. 25-26. Okay. O-Pee-Chee Premier Diamond. This is one of I think I can say this is a Gongshow favorite for all of us.
Yeah.
The O-Pee-Chee Premier is out of 75. The diamonds are Mr. Bigglesworth's butt. They are
Mhm.
awesome cards. They're not spendy. They're 25 less than the 100. Better than the exclusives. They look nicer. Great card. Not a rookie, but it's a great card. An insert. Since I am a Dolphin Connor Bedard collector now, I will be looking to get one of these every year. This is kind of like the poor man's seismic gold. You know,
Is it
add
weird
25,
that
make
I've
it a little
developed
silver.
emotional feelings for my cat?
It's not funny. Okay. Anyways, okay. Next card.
No,
You
no,
just
no, no,
said
no,
that
no,
this
no, no,
card
no.
was your cat's butt.
Yeah.
Phil, do you happen to have the card by you?
Yes, right here.
What's stamped underneath his stick?
20,
Oh, yeah.
91. No, wait.
Or 16?
Oh,
What the hell is it?
There's an extra numbering
There's
on
an extra number right here.
Yeah.
Oh, the penny sleeve's compromised.
it. That is weird.
Accidental stamping.
Yeah.
It's number 21 and number 91.
21. Oh, it's stuck to. Oh, the penny sleeve was gummy. Oh, I kind of made it weird on the picture, eh?
I don't know. What do you mean? Tell me what this damn number is.
There's a number 91 right under his stick.
Look under his hockey stick.
Dude, I see it. I
Oh.
know. It says 90. It looks like 90. Well, it looks like 16.
Is it like stamped or what? Why is it there?
I don't know, Louis.
That's
Could we
weird.
go to my next card?
Error card.
Oh,
Error
sorry. Didn't mean to
It's
bother
okay,
you.
man. Yes. 2007, 2008 O-Pee-Chee Premiere. Boys, O-Pee-Chee Premiere in 07, 08, and 08, 09 are amazing. Amazing cards. This is the bare minimum that you should opacicize the Habs logo behind. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that logo being there. It's not as pronounced as the Connor McDavid RPA rookie. Anyways, this card's amazing. Phenomenal card. I'm not a big landscape guy, but I love the browns. Makes me feel like it's a nice, cozy basement. I love the cursive writing. I love the strength of the O-Pee-Chee. The autograph strong. Yeah, just a great card, man.
Oh,
Big,
I'm
big
sorry I didn't hear you in the beginning. Did I guessed. Was this an 07, 08?
Yeah, this is 07.
Okay.
08, yeah.
I didn't know for sure, so I kind of pulled that one out of my butt.
I agree with
the
you.
label, they're in the name of the pictures. When
Oh,
it
I
doesn't.
didn't see him.
No, it's okay.
I agree with you, though, Phil, that O-Pee-Chee Premiere, those early 2000s or they're amazing sets. Are you a fan of them, Troy, too?
Yeah, I actually have a really nice Rick Nash, Jerome McGinley. I think it was like duos, premier duos or whatever it was,
Cool.
but a dual auto. I love the look of that card. So
That's your
couldn't
birthday,
agree
isn't it?
more.
Aren't
Sorry?
you an 07 baby? You're an 07 baby, aren't you?
I was born in 1993.
Oh, crap. Sorry.
Close.
It's okay. Close. Close.
That's a little the millennium. It screws me up. You got a minus and I don't know.
Math. Yeah, math is hard. Math is hard.
So linear.
Couldn't agree more.
Mhm.
I would love to see this product come back, honestly. That would be so much fun.
That's it.
Okay.
Troy,
Troy,
anything?
you're-
No, I went from all the personal pickups to none of the
Yeah.
personal pickups. We're getting into crunch time here, moving in that, and I want to save my pennies and shekels for the expo.
See what happens? This guy meets a girl, moves in with her, starts moving again. He's got no time for cards. The worst thing to ever happen to the Gong Show would be to get a girlfriend.
No, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Phil. She's an enabler. I'm the one who has to be like, no. We have we're moving. She'll be like, yeah, no, just get that card or just buy that box. I'm like, no, we can't.
What? Does she have sisters? How's her mom's marriage? Is that good? Good genetics in the family? What's going on over there? What? They're different in Buffalo.
They're a very strong family who loves each other, so they're doing just fine. Healthy
right.
family.
Any cracks in the marriage there, you let me know. I can swoop in there. I could be your dad.
Sure thing. Oh, well.
Father-in-law, yeah.
Father-in-law. There we go.
All right, Baba Louie, what did you pick up?
I got a 1920 stature patch auto out of 21 Heisher.
Very nice.
Back to
That's
the stature love.
Holy crap.
I love
That's
what the best part about it is the little string hanging here.
Yeah.
Right, Josh?
Gross.
And They're bigger than I
Stop.
swear the 1920s are a bigger window. They're first. It's bigger. Yeah.
Is that it?
And yep, that's it. Josh,
Good
your
card.
turn. Thanks.
I got one card. It is maybe in my top 10 favorite looking cards from a design wise. I love these. I still think liquid gold is my card in the last year, but this one might be a close second. They're very sparkly and textured. I had to jump on I dramatically overpaid for this card. Like pretty dramatically. But how many Sidney Crosby color match like parallel options do you get ever? And so I hemmed and hawed so long on this one.
Well, that's a good grab.
I think I paid $200 for it, and and this is out of 10. And the top sale is a green out of 50 for $60. So it's probably worth like $110, something like that. And
so $90 is not a dramatic over in ratio, sure.
As a percentage,
like in scale, yeah, fine. But it's $90, dude. You got a card you want for $90. Like,
yeah,
I don't regret it.
Isn't that why we make money, to spend it on stupid things?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I don't regret it at all. I'm like I said, if I had to pick out just not by value, by cards that I make my eyes the happiest, I think this instantly goes in my top 10. Is
this the glitter card?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Louis, have you seen it? Have you touched it?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
But now he's sick, so I'm not going to go over there and touch it.
Here you go.
All right, boys. Thank you so much, Troy. You look cooler now.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually really cold in the house because I'm wearing shorts too. So yeah, there's a bit of a breeze coming through. So I mean,
is this our Joey Tribbiani episode?
He's got his food pants on.
Yep, got my stretchy pants on, baby. Got the elastic on for sure.
Oh, I was talking about. Remember when he wore all of Chandler's clothes because he was mad at him, and then he did the lunges.
Hot take. I think Friends is the most overrated sitcom of all time.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah,
nailed it.
I knew it. I knew what
It's
that
a
was.
great show. It's a great listen. I like shows that you can watch with women and still enjoy, and everybody has a good time. Very well written. It's funny. I like Friends.
If you like the episode, please leave a rating, review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, you want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our $999 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description, and our Instagram and TikTok profile, on our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, or on Patreon's website, patreon.com, and search for us on Hockey Cards Gongshow. We are on social media. Follow the Gong Show on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dogbox Ventures, LLC. Have an awesome start to your week. Can't wait to be back with you on Thursday. Baba Louie, take us out.
Bye.
It's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth. He's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say the men in show.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?